Chapter 205. Logistics Department. Fong Ping had been sitting at the exchange counter for a long time. Old Man Li dozed off and did not bother with him anymore. Fong Ping stared at the exchange list in front of him. After a long time, he made up his mind. "Instructor, I want this." Old Man Li glanced at it. He looked at him strangely and said slowly, "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. Why do you want this?" Old Man Li was still puzzled. He looked at him for a while and said, "This is a rank 5 pill. If you didn't come here often, it wouldn't be on the exchange list. It's not for students. It's mainly for instructors." "I want this." Fong Ping's face was full of certainty. He said painfully, "I heard that the bodybuilding pill is specially prepared for the 3 middle ranks powerhouses to hone their bodies. It's a transformation from the inside out. The effects are amazing. Even the internal organs can be honed. Instructor, the effects aren't fake, right?" "Of course not." Old Man Li looked at him and thought for a while. The 3 middle ranks martial artists hone their internal organs. You can say that this stage is to forge the human body into a golden one. Peak rank 6 martial artists have almost no physical weakness other than their heads. As he spoke, Old Man Li picked up the alloy dagger on the table and stabbed it into his hand a few times. The sound of metal cutting could be heard. "Kid, do you see that? Honestly, I'm lying here now. You can hack me all you want. Don't hack my head. If you hack me to death, you'll be the best." Fong Ping's face darkened. He said gloomily, "Instructor, I'm not here to watch you show off. I just want to exchange a few pills and ask about their effects." "What are you saying?" Old Man Li said unhappily. "Am I not showing you the results? The bodybuilding pill has a certain effect on the transformation of the human body, but it's not the main effect. I'm just telling you not to waste it. With your current situation, the bodybuilding pill will at most slightly increase your body's strength. The transformation of the internal organs, on the other hand, is full of danger. You might not be able to withstand such a powerful transformation. Instructor, do you think my body can withstand the progress of a middle stage rank 3 bone honing if I consume a bodybuilding pill now?" Old Man Li did not say anything. He reached out and patted Fong Ping's body a few times. He thought for a while and said, "If you really want to try, you can try. 3 bodybuilding pills should be enough." However, the first time was more dangerous as the medicinal effect was very strong. Also, 200 credits for one. Are you sure you want to spend 600 credits on this? Just to let the body bear the honing progress of middle stage rank 3 in advance? Do you still have the face to tell me how poor your family is next time?" Fong Ping was helpless. He sighed and said, "Teacher, my improvement is too slow. When will I be able to cultivate to the middle 3 ranks, or even the upper 3 ranks? I also want to take it slow and save as much as I can. This won't do. If I'm any slower, I'll be left behind. There's someone stronger than you in your first year? I'm not talking about a freshman. I'm talking about someone else." Old Man Li could not help but laugh. He pondered for a moment and said, "Then you'll need to redeem at least 3 rank 3 viscera shielding pills. 1 pill costs 90 credits, so 3 pills cost 270 credits. Every time, he would first take the viscera shielding pill before taking the body forging pill. This way, your internal organs won't suffer too much impact, and it's safer and more effective. That's a total of 870 credits. After 3 rounds, the physical strengthening will be complete. It'll be more than enough to withstand your middle stage rank 3 strength." 870 credits, Fong Ping mumbled. There was no way he could go on like this. "I just want to cultivate to middle stage rank 3 in advance. It's so expensive, and this doesn't even include the cost of honing. It's faster than robbing." Old Man Li laughed. "That's why I'm advising you not to rush. Take it slow. Actually, it's already extremely difficult for you to cultivate to rank 3 now. No, I can't go any slower. I heard that Qin Fengqing is trying to break through to rank 4, and CLA is about to enter peak rank 3. Teacher, I have to cultivate to peak rank 3 as soon as possible. Only then will I have time to deepen my cultivation of combat techniques. Otherwise, I won't have the heart to care about anything else. I'll change it. Teacher, I don't have any credits, and I'll have to spend money. You can give me a discount. I really don't have much money now." Old Man Li sneered. Body honing pills aren't body honing pills. Body honing pills are sluggish, but body honing pills are a bestseller for martial artists in the 3 ranks. Plus 3 rank, 3 viscera shielding pills. I'll give you 25 million. This old man is opening the back door for you again. 250? Fong Ping hesitated. He was about to speak when Old Man Li yawned and said, "Don't talk. If you don't go out, I'll buy it." Fong Ping gritted his teeth and bought it. Achieving middle stage rank 3 in 3 days was enough for the assessment. He still had more than 45 million in cash on hand, which was enough for the time being. After achieving middle stage, he would rest for a few days before attempting to break through to upper stage. Once he achieved upper stage rank 3, he would temporarily put aside his cultivation and focus on combat techniques. He would strive to become a true combat powerhouse before entering the catacombs. Old Man Li cut to the chase and gave Fong Ping 3 rank, 3 viscera shielding pills. As for the body honing pills, he sent someone to the southern area to get them. They were not available here. After more than 10 minutes, Fong Ping received the pills. At the same time, 25 million was deducted from his card. He did not know if he could earn it back from the assessment. As he passed by the credits collection counter, Fong Ping collected the 120 credits he had accumulated this month. His wealth had only increased by 400,000. Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. After a while, he remembered something. He had promised Fu Changding and the others that 100 of the 300 credits would belong to them. Mother asterisk Kerr, the system is eavesdropping on my conversation. This was the first time Fong Ping had encountered such a situation. It was not as if he had not counted his wealth points before, but this was the first time he had encountered a situation where the credits he had received were not counted to his account. No, this was the same as the credits on MCMAU's exchange platform. They flowed through his hands, but they did not belong to him. I'm speechless. Fong Ping was extremely frustrated. After thinking about it, he did not have much to complain about. It was the same as the missions he had done before. The missions would be calculated uniformly, but it would not be solely counted to Fong Ping. After returning to the dormitory, Fong Ping went to Fu Changding's place and used his computer to transfer 100 credits to him. As for how they would distribute the credits, Fong Ping did not care. After that, Fong Ping hung a "Do Not Disturb" sign on his door. The pain was excruciating. When he took the rank 5 body honing pill, Fong Ping only wanted to curse. Old Man Li said that it was more dangerous to take it for the first time. He also said that after taking the viscera shielding pill, the danger would be much lower. Fong Ping should be able to withstand it. However, Old Man Li did not tell him that it would be this painful. His muscles felt like they were being torn apart inch by inch. His organs were also twitching nonstop. It hurts. Fong Ping was in so much pain that his consciousness was blurred. Big droplets of sweat mixed with blood dripped to the ground. I've always wanted to become stronger. What's the point? To endure pain? To be tortured? Could it be that it's really to save the world that's ridiculous, amidst the unbearable pain? Fong Ping could not help but think about these questions. When did I become so great? So great that I want to pacify the catacombs and return a peaceful society to mankind. What a ridiculous idea. Is it worth it to put my life on the line just to improve in martial arts? Maybe I'll live a better life if I'm a normal person and ignore all of this. All kinds of thoughts flashed in his mind. As he thought about these, images flashed in his mind. The scene of MCMAU instructors returning from battle after death, the scene of Bairuashi smiling with a broken arm, and the scene of the catacombs invading, the scene of his parents and sister dying in front of him, the scene of him struggling helplessly. I'm not that great. Everything I've done is for myself and for my family. The pain I've endured today is more worth it than crying helplessly in the future. Fong Ping did not know how much time had passed. When the pain faded, he collapsed and lay on the ground, panting heavily. The catacombs, Nanjiang, family, Fong Ping muttered softly. Panting, he chuckled. Yes, I just hope to have the ability to protect myself before the catacombs invade. Don't think too highly of yourself, and think too highly of yourself. That's why I still have to cultivate. I still have to fight for everything that I have to. 3 days later, May 3rd is done. Fong Ping's face was slightly pale, but he was extremely excited. April. A month of nourishment allowed him to smooth out some of the flaws in the rapid advancement of rank 1 and 2. May. In 3 days, Fong Ping stepped into middle stage rank 3 in May. Wealth, 17. 5 million vitality. 500 calories, 820 calories, mentality. 450 hertz, 499 hertz, bone honing. 151 bones, 90%. 55 bones, 30%. My vitality has exceeded 800 calories. My sternum and ribs have been honed. I'm only left with 26 vertebrae and 29 skulls to hone. Fong Ping moved his body. All the bones in his body made a crisp, crackling sound. I still have 17, 5 million wealth points, and 20 million in cash. If I use them sparingly with the school's subsequent rewards, reaching upper stage rank 3 shouldn't be a problem, right? Fong Ping was not too sure. He now realized that expectations were expectations, and reality was reality. Sometimes, money and wealth points were spent faster than he imagined. He picked up the Feng's widow beside him and waved it a few times. Fong Ping felt that it was not very smooth. This was also a side effect of rapid bone honing. After resting for a while, he took a shower and changed his clothes. Fong Ping looked at the time and walked out. Teaching block. Tang Feng glanced at Fong Ping, who had just arrived, and frowned slightly. What was wrong with this kid? He had improved so quickly these few days. Without saying anything, Tang Feng said, "The itinerary has been decided. The location of the assessment this time, Nanjiang." Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly. Nanjiang? This assessment is not just a simple assessment. It's a large-scale mission. Not only ours, but also Capital City Martial Arts University and many other martial arts universities will participate. This time, it's a joint mission. Following Tang Feng's narration, everyone gradually understood the contents of the assessment. Nanjiang had probably already been confirmed as the opening location of the next catacombs entrance. Currently, many evil sect martial artists had gathered in Nanjiang. According to the judgment of the higher-ups, these evil sect martial artists might be trying to open the entrance when the new entrance was opened, allowing the catacombs creatures to invade. When the new entrance was opened, there would also be a large number of powerhouses gathering in the catacombs. As the opening location of the new entrance, Nanjiang does not have the advantages of other entrances. It lacks the necessary coping experience and a large number of martial artists who have experienced war. The other areas will come to help, and the central government will also deploy troops to guard the new entrance. However, it's the first opening, and it's temporarily impossible to determine the specific location, how the troops will be stationed, and where the main force of the martial artists will defend are all problems. The opening of the entrance is very fast. Even if they're all in Nanjiang, if the distance between the stations is too far, it will take some time to transport the troops. The evil sect martial artist goal is very simple. They want to take advantage of this time to try and open the entrance. Tang Feng said coldly, "These people are completely crazy now. These years, as the government's strength has grown, their chances have become smaller and smaller. Now, they're also struggling on their deathbed." This time, a large number of evil sect higher-ups have begun to gather in Nanjiang. The government will not sit idly by and watch them cause trouble. A bunch of jumping clowns trying to fish in troubled waters during the chaos. Wishful thinking. The government will not wait until the catacombs entrance is really open before carrying out the purge. Therefore, the purge operation begins now. As for our respective martial arts universities, this time, you are responsible for purging a large-scale gathering point. Remember, regardless of age, kill without mercy. The number of martial artists you kill individually and the number of martial arts universities kill as a group will be the standard for your assessment. This time, it's not just about individual bravery. The formation of the troops and the timing of the battle are all very important. Whether you want to join the battle at the first instance is also up to you to decide. This is considered a team battle assessment mission, not just about individual bravery. Remember, of course, if you think that you can sweep the stronghold alone, that's your ability. But if you want to sweep the stronghold alone as a group of rank 2 and 3 martial artists, I'm afraid the chances of you courting death are much higher. Tang Feng spoke for a while. When Fong Ping was done, he opened his mouth to ask, wouldn't it be more efficient to let the army carry firearms and fight in such a large-scale gathering point? Tang Feng shook his head and said, right now, we're training the troops. Training Nanjiang's troops. Do you understand what I mean? You mean, yes. In the future, it will be very difficult to transfer the troops for the catacombs entrance from all over the place. At most, we'll just send some middle and high-level leaders. As for the basic forces, most of them will be recruits. This time, we'll use this opportunity to let the recruits get used to the cold weapons combat mode, including you guys. These evil sect martial artists are also a good choice. Compared to the catacombs creatures, the evil sect martial artists are not organized, and their combat strength is not strong. They're the most suitable test subjects. More people will definitely die. However, the more people who die now, the fewer people who will die in the future. Fong Ping nodded slightly and said, the evil sect doesn't know about such a large-scale operation of ours. They know. Tang Feng said indifferently, this time, we're inviting them into the trap. We've already discovered the evil sect gathering. We've purposely let the various armies and martial artists encircle and annihilate them so that they will unknowingly gather in one place. The goal is to conduct a large-scale training. Although it's to train the recruits, there are already 9 grandmasters sealing off the battlefield in Nanjiang. There's also a modern high-tech combat army on standby at the periphery. The other party will either choose not to fight the martial artists or choose to escape, and then be bombarded by countless cannons. What do you think they'll choose if they know this outcome? Then, what we're facing now is a bunch of trapped beasts. You can say that. So, you guys be careful. Since it's for training, an appropriate death rate is allowed and necessary. If the death rate does not exceed 30%, then the battlefield will always be your battlefield. 30%. Fong Ping's pupils shrank slightly. This death rate was too high. Tang Feng said coldly, if a 30% death rate can be achieved in a battlefield with low combat strength like the evil sect, then when you enter the catacombs, you'll have a 99% death rate. No one said anything else. Get ready, everyone. We'll depart tonight and meet up with the other teams. Fong Ping exhaled. It was time to return to Nanjiang again. However, it was different from the last time. Last time, it was to complete a mission and go home to take a look. This time, it was to participate in a large-scale battle between martial artists. The entrance to the catacombs is actually going to appear in Nanjiang. Fong Ping sighed softly. Nanjiang would probably be in chaos for a while in the next 2 years. The others left one after another. Fong Ping and the others also went back to make preparations. Pills, weapons, these things. They had to be prepared. At night, Fong Ping went to Villa number 8. Lu Fengru was not there. He did not know where she went. Chapter 206. Nanjiang, Songnan City. Although Nanjiang was located in the plains, it did not mean that there were no mountains. Song Mountain was the large mountain range that traversed the Nanjiang River. Sun City was included within the range of this mountain range. The car slowly entered Songnan City. In the car, Tang Feng said calmly, these people are currently trapped in Songnan City, backed by White Mountain. The stronghold you need to attack is located at the foot of White Mountain. It was originally a village, but it gradually became deserted. The villagers came out to work and settled down in the city. Only a few old people stayed behind. Someone frowned. The old people, they were killed. A girl could not help but say, Instructor, didn't you say that we had a plan to drive them to a certain place? Tang Feng said calmly, no matter how meticulous the plan is, it can't go according to plan. The original plan was not to drive them to this village, but to a completely deserted village halfway up the mountain. However, accidents happen. The plan didn't go according to our plan. An accident like this, to put it coldly, it's still within everyone's acceptable range. Everyone was speechless. Compared to the evil sect martial artists being trapped here, the death of a few old people seemed to be worth it. However, as the people being sacrificed would they think it was worth it? Tang Feng changed the topic and quickly continued. The village is located at the foot of the mountain. We've set up a defense line deep in the mountain and other entrances. However, there's no one nearby. This means that the other party can escape up the mountain at any time. The mountain terrain is more complicated. In the end, you may have to fight a jungle chase. Be careful. The terrain is complicated and the environment is complicated. This means that the danger is greater. Fong Ping said, "How many people are in the village? Are they all martial artists?" "No, they're normal people. However, at this moment, whether they are normal people or martial artists, kill them all," Tang Feng said coldly. "Remember, don't leave anyone alive. Kill them all." As for the number of people, there are about 300. We don't know how many normal people there are. 300 people? Everyone was surprised. Yu Xianghua said, "Instructor, how many people are there from our martial arts universities?" MCMU 97, CCMU 80, and the 3 martial arts universities in Nanjiang 40. The other martial arts universities are mainly from the 3 southern provinces. Nanhu and Nans have about 60 people. That's close to 300 people. Yu Xianghua thought about it and said, "Our numbers are about the same as theirs. The weakest among us is a rank 2 martial artist. They even have normal people. Would such an experience really be so difficult?" But Tang Feng snorted lightly and said, "Don't look down on anyone. Otherwise, you all will die very quickly. Moreover, among these people, there might be a few rank 3 martial artists. As for the specifics, you'll have to find out for yourselves." Fong Ping interrupted. "Are there any martial artists in the 3 middle ranks?" "I don't know." Fong Ping was speechless. What was he talking about? You don't know? In that case, there might be. If a group of rank 2 martial artists and an individual rank 3 martial artist were up against martial artists of the 3 middle ranks, it would be extremely dangerous unless they threw their lives away. As they talked, the night grew darker and darker. At 1 o'clock in the morning, the vehicle stopped at a temporary military base in the suburbs of Cangnan. MCMU's car had just arrived. Very soon, a few more cars stopped at the entrance. Fong Ping and the others got out of the car and looked in that direction with the light from the door. In the end, he saw a few familiar faces. From a distance, Fong Wenxiang glared at Fong Ping hatefully. Seeing this, Fong Ping stretched out his hand and rubbed his fingers, saying, "Pay me back." Fong Wenxiang's expression was dark, but he did not look at him anymore. Fong Ping curled his lips. This guy owed him a pill. Fong Ping remembered that he had swallowed a rank 1 vitality pill back then. Now that he was rank 3, his status had risen. At the very least, it was a rank 3 pill. Other than Fong Wenxiang, Han Su, Li Ran, Zhang Jingguang, and the other students who had participated in the championship were mostly here. It had been almost 4 months since the championship. Back then, they were all peak rank 1 martial artists. Now almost all of them had entered rank 2, and some of them were not even beginners. Other than CCMAU and MCMAU who had just arrived, the martial arts university students from other places had arrived earlier. When Fong Ping and the others entered the base one after another, the other martial arts university students were also woken up. At this moment, some of them walked out of the barracks. As a result, Fong Ping received a lot of eye rolls. When the NMU people saw him, they all looked indignant. "Sore losers. What are you looking at?" Fong Ping huffed in annoyance. What the hell were they looking at? He had won the martial arts competition. Was this also illegal? No one is a sore loser. As soon as he opened his mouth, someone from NMU chimed in, saying angrily, "It's not that NMU students have never lost, but you, Fong Ping, have gone too far and humiliated NMU students." Fong Ping was speechless. Fu Chanding snickered and said, "Who told you to pretend? If you want to fight, just fight. You don't have to talk big." Previously at NMAU, Fong Ping had almost made Lon K vomit blood in anger. The other martial artist did not even let anyone announce his name. This was one of the reasons why the NMAU students were indignant when they saw him. Of course, it was also because NMAU had not been having a good time recently. These rank 2 martial artists had been tormented to the point where they wished they were dead. Fong Ping did not bother to reply. He did not look at them anymore. Soon, Everyone followed the instructors and military officers to a large tent that had been temporarily set up. Inside the tent, Tang Feng and the others discussed quietly with the base's military officers for a while. Soon, someone said, "Don't waste time. Let the other martial arts university students wake up and gather." As soon as the words were spoken, there was no need to inform them one by one. A powerhouse roared, "Everyone, gather!" Fong Ping and the others were shocked. They could not help but dig their ears. Fong Ping laughed softly. Instructor Tang should be the one to shout that. Lion's roar is a necessary skill. Chun Yunshi suddenly pushed Fong Ping from behind. Fong Ping was a little surprised. He looked up and saw Tang Feng looking at him. Fong Ping was speechless. There were so many people talking. How could she hear that? Tang Feng didn't bother with him. Everyone was waiting, and soon, students walked in one after another. Seeing that the tent was full, someone tore it down and said loudly, "A group of martial artists. Why do we need tents for a meeting? We could just hold it in the open." After the tent was torn down, the place became much more spacious. Soon, the military officer who had been talking to Tang Feng stood up and said loudly, "Thank you, everyone, for coming to Nanjiang and helping us solve our problems. I think everyone knows about the mission this time. Your mission target is Boulder Village, which is 15 kilometers away from here. We will make arrangements for how to wipe them out. According to your martial arts universities, you will make the arrangements yourself. Whether to move together or individually, it's up to you. We only have 3 requests for you. First, you must not attack your comrades. If you are discovered, you will be sent to the catacombs or killed on the spot. Second, this place has been designated as a war zone. Now that everyone has entered this place, you can only move forward. You cannot retreat. We will set up a defense line in all directions. You must not cross the line. Third, the spoils of war will be handled together. During the battle, you are not allowed to collect the spoils of war privately. They will be handled after the battle and distributed according to work. Don't worry, the spoils of war are all yours. How much you get will depend on your performance. Don't let your own people stab each other in the back just for a few pills. If you are discovered, you will be dealt with severely." The military did not have many requirements for everyone. They did not even require the necessary discipline. As for the problem of the spoils of war, it was to prevent people from fighting before the enemy was completely killed. That would really be a motley crew. Having said that, Tang Feng also said, "This time, the instructors will not participate in the battle. We have other missions. I have told you your mission now. Next, this temporary base will be handed over to you. You will need to make your own decisions about everything. You are all rank 2 and 3 martial artists. You are no longer newbies, nor are you rookie martial artists in the martial arts world. Everyone is the elite of their respective schools. If we can't even eliminate a group of evil sect martial artists with a similar number of people, how can we talk about going down to the catacombs to fight against the catacombs creatures?" Tang Feng's words were straightforward, and his actions were also straightforward. After saying that, he looked at the other instructors and said, "Everyone, we can leave now." The instructors were straightforward, and the soldiers were also straightforward. In an instant, everyone was gone. A few minutes later, only a group of students were left, looking at each other. Obviously, everyone did not expect that this time it was all up to them. After a while, someone said, "Everyone, discuss how to fight, how to encircle and suppress. The other party doesn't have many people. Let's attack together. Idiots. If you ask me, let's fight on our own. Martial artists are not soldiers. We haven't experienced large team battles. If we force ourselves to work together, we will only add to the chaos. If we don't act together, won't it be a mess?" Everyone discussed animatedly. Soon, someone said loudly, "Everyone, the first thing we should do is not to think about other things. First, recognize people. Don't let our own people not know each other. In the end, if we find the wrong target, it will be easy for others to fish in troubled waters. We are all martial artists. We have less than 300 people. Everyone, introduce yourselves. That way, when we ask for help, we don't have to shout hey." Everyone burst out laughing. That was true. Soon, this person introduced himself. "My name is Yu Chun Capital City Martial Arts University, peak rank 2 martial artist. Zhou CCMEU, peak rank 2. Wang Dan, CCMEU, peak rank 2. Han Su, CCMEU, peak rank 2. On CCMU's side, there were many peak rank 2 martial artists. There were even 5 rank 3 martial artists, but they were all beginners. Han Su had also entered peak rank 2. This speed was also extremely shocking. This meant that in less than 4 months, this guy had honed more than 60 bones. Strictly speaking, it was less than 110 days. On average, he had honed 1 bone in less than 2 days. CCMU had 80 people. 5 of them were rank 3, 12 of them were peak rank 2, and the rest were martial artists above middle stage rank 2. On MCMU's side, there were 97 people. 4 of them were rank 3 and 14 of them were peak rank 2. Among the rest, there were a few freshmen who had not entered middle stage rank 2. MCMU had 4 rank 3s. Other than Fang Ping, Yu Xianghua, Chen Pengfei, and another junior had all broken through to rank 3. Zhang Ziwei was still at peak rank 2. She had not broken through. On Nanjiang Martial Arts University's side, there was only 1 rank 3 martial artist. It was Fang Ping's acquaintance, Gu Xiong. The other schools had a total of 5 rank 3 martial artists. The rest were rank 2. There were 15 rank 3 martial artists and 274 rank 2 martial artists. There were 289 people in total. These were also the elite rank 2 students from the 3 southern provinces, CCMEU and MCMAU. As for those rank 3, most of them had just broken through not long ago. Other than CCMU's middle stage rank 3 martial artist, Fang Ping was the other one. However, Fang Ping did not say anything. The middle stage rank 3 martial artist from CCMEU was called Zhao Yang. After the introductions were done, Zhao Yang looked at MCMEU's side and said, "Everyone, what do you think next? This is an assessment for us. It's not just about martial strength, nor is it about how many people we kill. What the school wants to see is not just these. From now on, our every move will probably be watched by the martial arts universities. If we want to perform well, then we must show our value." Yu Xianghua continued, "Tell us what you think. My opinion is very simple. Right now, we have 15 rank 3 martial artists and about 50 peak rank 2 martial artists. The 60 of us will form an assault team. We'll attack Boulder Village from the front. The others will surround the perimeter to prevent the evil sect martial artists from escaping." Yu Xianghua frowned. "What if the other party enters the mountain from the back? I think we should lure them into a battle of attrition, then take them down in one fell swoop. We shouldn't expose our full strength right from the start." Fang Ping yawned. He was a little speechless. "I say, the few of you, do you really think that we've won? You must be joking. The martial arts universities have organized so many students to come here for training, just to let us wipe them all out? If I'm not wrong, there's a high chance that there are rank for martial artists in Boulder Village. There might also be upper stage and peak rank 3 martial artists. You guys, what are you thinking?" On the martial artist side, 1 powerhouse is equivalent to 100 weaklings. Don't think about targeting Boulder Village's powerhouses first. All you think about is winning. Aren't you afraid that it'll all be over in the end? Everyone raised their eyebrows slightly. Zhao Yang said in a low voice, "Then what you mean is, rank 3 martial artists don't need to be restrained. If we encounter the other party's rank 3, we'll fight them. If a rank for martial artist appears, me, Yu Xianghua, Chen Pengfei, 3 of MCMEU's rank 3s will fight. You guys can come up with a few as well. Honestly, 3 won't be enough against a rank 4. Gather 7 or 8 people and besiege them." My intuition is very sharp. I'm sure that there's a high chance that a rank for martial artists will appear. Of course, if not, it means that there will be at least 3 upper stage and peak rank 3 martial artists. If that's the case, MCMEU will be responsible for 1 person, CCMEU will be responsible for another, and the other martial arts universities will join forces to deal with 1 person. When the time comes, the other rank 3 martial artists will deal with the evil sect's middle and lower stage rank 3 and the peak rank 2 martial artists on the ranking list. If the other party has extra rank 3s, you guys can go. I think it won't be a problem for you guys to deal with these people. Also, I suggest that the middle and lower stage rank 2 martial artists stay on the periphery and act as the second echelon. Also, even we need to replenish our vitality. It's best to split into 2 teams. We can't rush forward at the same time. If our vitality is depleted and the other party suddenly shows up with a new force, then we'll just be waiting for death. At least 1/3 of the combat-able martial artists should be reserved to prevent accidents. Lastly, I'd like to ask, does the other party have firearms? Everyone fell into deep thought. After a while, someone said, probably not. Of course, we can't rule out this possibility. However, even if they do, they'll be very few. The threat to us is limited. Right now, it's limited. Once we deplete most of our vitality, we'll be tired, and our reaction speed will decrease. A group of gunners can take us down. Be more careful. In short, everyone should hold back a little. Don't die without even knowing how you died. This isn't a friendly match. It's not a challenge tournament. If you admit defeat, it'll be over. We cannot give it our all to fight the evil sect martial artists. However, there's so many of them, so we can't go all out. Enemyus Guxiong said, let's split into 3 teams. 1 team will guard the periphery. The other 2 teams will take turns to fight. Rank 3 martial artists will act as the mobile force. Fong Ping smiled. That's what I was thinking. I think the periphery should be dominated by women. Zhang Ziwei, you'll be in charge of this team. Zhang Ziwei glared at him. Fong Ping said mildly, it's for your own good. It's better for women to be in the periphery. You're strong too, so you can be considered a trump card. Who knows if the evil sect martial artists outside will break in from the back. Zhang Ziwei frowned, but did not say anything else. Both of you, the 2 main attacking teams, you decide who'll be in charge of commanding. As for us rank 3 martial artists, we'll be in charge of rescuing and fighting the other party's rank 3 martial artists. Lastly, I suggest we form a reconnaissance team with fewer people and enter the village to investigate. Martial artists with elevated pole standing can run fast too. What do you guys think? Everyone looked at each other. Someone nodded and said, it's good to investigate, but it's more dangerous to enter the village. Fong Ping chuckled. I suggested it. Count me in. Fu Changding and the others looked at each other. Had this guy changed? Fong Ping did not mind. He continued, of course, now that the evil sect martial artists know that we're catching turtles in a jar. Unless they're stupid, they'll definitely have tight security. My idea is that those who enter the village to investigate will get a bigger share of the loot. Everyone did not have much of an opinion on this. The evil sect martial artists were not stupid. Right now, they were like birds on edge. Even the slightest sign of trouble would definitely cause a huge commotion. Entering the village was indeed more dangerous. After that, a few more people volunteered to enter the village to investigate, confirming the plan. As for the time, everyone decided to take action tomorrow night. After everyone had dispersed, Fu Changding whispered, you actually volunteered to enter the village to investigate. That's not like you. Why wouldn't I do something that benefits me? I still can't believe it. Fong Ping laughed. What's there to be in disbelief about? Actually, I don't think it's that dangerous to enter the village. But if you don't know anything about the enemy, that's the real danger. With the slightest disturbance, the evil sex experts would also emerge. It's not like we have to fight to the death. We can just run if things go south. At least we'll have an idea. I don't want to die without knowing why 3 or 4 middle-rank martial artists suddenly appear. Fu Changding nodded. Then he said indignantly, why can't we join the main attack team? Wait until you've achieved upper stage rank 2. Isn't it embarrassing? Han Su is already peak rank 2. I'm almost there. In a few days, upper stage rank 2. I'm almost there too. In a few days, upper stage rank 3. Fong Ping retorted. Fu Changding looked embarrassed. Do you think I'll believe you? Chapter 207. Idiots. A motley crew. I'm starting to wonder if it's worth it to allocate 100 billion to martial arts universities every year. Just as Fong Ping and the others were discussing their plans and preparing for battle, Someone yelled angrily in a temporary camp 5 kilometers away. Tang Feng and the others were there, but they did not make a sound. However, when the person who yelled earlier said the last sentence, Tang Feng said lightly, "What can you expect from a bunch of rookies?" The strong were all transformed from the weak, and their experience would increase as they grew. Don't you know how many powerhouses have been nurtured and how many people have been sacrificed in the catacombs? What's wrong with the military department? Do you think the military department is better than our martial arts universities? What a joke! How many powerhouses and commanders in the military department came from our martial arts universities? Tang Feng laughed coldly and said lightly, "No one denies the military department's contributions. I, Tang Feng, admire how many ordinary soldiers have sacrificed their lives. But our martial arts university students have become the trash you call trash?" The officer who yelled earlier said angrily, "Shouldn't I be yelling? Is this how you teach your students?" A camp of 300 people, 15 kilometers away, is the evil sect's stronghold. And the result? They thought they were fighting criminal martial artists who escaped. Did they just sit there and wait for them to attack? No one thought of sending someone to stand guard in such a huge camp. If the evil sect martial artists attacked at this time, how many of these people would die? Tang Feng was slightly embarrassed. The leading CCMEU martial artist next to him frowned slightly and said, "This is indeed their negligence." But before this, everyone did individual missions. At most, it was a small-scale team mission. They have never experienced this kind of mission to encircle and annihilate a large stronghold. You could say that they are all newbies. Everyone comes from different martial arts universities. It is indeed a serious mistake to not consider this. However, General Lu's last sentence denied our martial arts university students' contributions. "General Lu, it's better for you to take it back. We have dozens of Grandmaster powerhouses. Which one of us did not make great contributions in the catacombs? Even Commander-in-Chief Li would not deny our martial arts university's contributions. Now it has been denied by General Lu?" The man called General Lu snorted softly and said, I admit that what I said earlier was a little biased. But this group of students in front of you, who you regard as elites, are actually so elite? Speed is the key in war. The evil sect martial artists were now trapped beasts. Would they just sit and wait for death? If it weren't for the fact that he was afraid of the military headquarters and the experts surrounding him, he would have charged out a long time ago. Furthermore, they had already informed the students that the path to the back of the mountain was not sealed. Had these students not considered that when they went to Boulder Village tomorrow, they would be left with an empty village, and the evil sect martial artists would enter the forest to fight guerrilla warfare with them? Why did they return to their barracks to rest instead of surrounding Boulder Village when we just retreated? No one said anything. Some of the martial arts university instructors were a little embarrassed. General Lu continued, "I think there's a need to teach these students a lesson. Commander Chun, here, go to Boulder Village, lure a few warriors over, and launch a surprise attack on the student camp." The strong man in military uniform next to him was in a dilemma. Tang Feng exhaled softly and nodded. "Rank 3 martial artists, lure a few people over. No more than 5 of them. The rest of you, intercept them on the spot." Yes. The people from the martial arts universities had also agreed. Commander Chun did not waste any more time and quickly brought a few martial artists from the military department to Boulder Village. Seeing this, General Lu said calmly, "How many of these rookies do you think will die this time?" Tang Feng frowned. The CCMEU instructor also frowned and said, "It's best if no one dies. If they really die, it'll be on the battlefield. If the military department has this attitude, all your recruits would have died in battle long ago. Lu Shiping, you better control your hawkish style. Don't think that just because you have the support of the military department, you can do whatever you want. Our martial arts universities have always produced elites. Stop using our martial arts universities as a target. Half of the 300 Grandmasters are from our martial arts universities. If you want to die, no one will stop you. Go straight to the catacombs. Don't show off your power in front of a bunch of newbies." Lu Shiping said slightly angrily, "Am I using them as a target?" Am I targeting anyone? But I can't stand your methods. I'd say the same even if the Grandmasters were here. Now that the situation is critical, we should use the battle to nurture the battle. We don't have time to waste on learning all that nonsense. Those who come out alive after being thrown into the catacombs are the elites that I, Lu Shiping, recognize. Humph, you boorish man. What do you know? I'm a boorish man? I'm a boorish man. I also know that the situation is critical now. Many of your martial arts university instructors have died in battle. Why are you so lenient to these students? Tang Feng said impatiently, just mind your own business. Our martial arts universities have our own way of teaching the students. Short-sighted. All the students who enter martial arts universities have the potential to become grandmasters. In the early stages, we were eager for quick success and suffered heavy casualties. Are you telling me that the military department is going to provide us with so many grandmaster seedlings? To put it bluntly, is cultivating a group of iron-blooded warriors more effective than having one more grandmaster? Grandmasters don't become grandmasters by piling up human lives. If I say that you're brainless, then you've trained your soldiers well. If I say that you have brains, then is your brain made of water? Many people in the crowd laughed. Lu Shiping was furious. Then he snorted coldly and said, "All right, I'd like to see how many grandmasters will come out of this batch of students. No, even if there's one, then I, Lu Shiping, will be the one who's short-sighted today." Tang Feng frowned and said, "We'll talk about it when the time comes. They're already dead. Who cares if you're short-sighted or not?" Everyone suddenly quieted down. Lu Shiping also quieted down. After a long time, he sighed softly. "You also know that they're about to die. Aren't you worried at all? Haste makes waste. The students are still young. Let them grow step by step. Don't spoil them through excessive enthusiasm, wishing that they could become grandmaster powerhouses tomorrow. There are too many people like you in the military department. Look at it yourself. How many grandmasters are there in the military department now? The military department allocates the most money every year. It's more than 10 times that of martial arts universities. In the end, you only know how to fill it with human lives. You have to bear the responsibility for the many sacrifices of the military department soldiers. How many people will die if there's one more grandmaster powerhouse? Tell that to Commander Li." Tang Feng snorted. "You know how to use Commander Li to pressure me. Why don't you think about how many grandmasters there are in martial arts universities who have the guts to question the education of martial arts universities?" Fang Ping and the others naturally did not know about Tang Feng and the others' discussion and argument. They did not arrange for Nighthawks. This was also a result of inertia. In the past, when everyone was on a mission, the criminals were always on the run. No one really thought that they would be counterattacked. Even now, everyone knew that there were hundreds of evil sect martial artists 15 kilometers away. In everyone's habitual thinking, these people were waiting for them to come and kill them. No one even considered whether the other party would take the initiative to attack them. With this habit in mind, everyone returned to their tents to recuperate and prepare for tomorrow's operation. It was 4 a.m. In the campsite, most of the students were already sound asleep. Martial artists were humans too. They needed rest. At this time, most of them were asleep. Just as Fang Ping was about to fall asleep, his body suddenly trembled. Fang Ping quickly got up and picked up the Changdao beside him. He shouted coldly, "Who's there?" "Shh." In the darkness, a figure flashed and said in a low voice, "It's me, F***CK." Fang Ping cursed. At this time, the others in the tent woke up. Zhao Lei frowned. "Gu Xiong? It's me." Gu Xiong walked out of the darkness. Seeing that Fang Ping was still pointing his saber at him, he did not mind. He said, "I'm letting you know that there might be martial artists attacking the camp. If you're not sleepy, accompany me to keep watch." "Attacking the camp?" Fang Ping was stunned. Gu Xiong said in a low voice, "That's right. Actually, I wanted to say this before everyone mentioned it. However, everyone was in a hurry to end the meeting, so I didn't bring it up. The probability of an attack is very high. Even if the evil sect martial artists don't expect it, our instructors will teach us a lesson. In the military department, in the catacombs, martial artists have to sleep with their eyes open. We're too lax. You're not weak, and you're from Nanjiang. Let's keep watch. Even if we don't encounter an attack, we'll get more marks from the instructors. The president said that he can pull you along at critical moments. Your president? Yes. Brother Wang, are you trying to trick me, or are you looking down on me? Fong Ping complained. After some thought, he stood up and said, All right, what you said makes sense. Let's go out for a walk. We'll go too. Fong Ping glanced at Fu Changding and the others. He nodded and said, together, If there's any trouble, come quickly and call for help. The few of them left the campsite and arrived at the entrance. After finding a dark place, Fong Ping sat down and asked, Have you been to the catacombs before? Gu Xiong did not sit down. He looked around and replied, Once. What did it feel like? Tragic. The time I went, it happened to be a war between two armies. It was a real cold weapon war. There were heavy casualties. Donglin's governor personally went to the front line. You probably wouldn't have thought that such a gentle-looking uncle would tear a few of the enemy's generals apart on the battlefield. Only then did I understand that the hatred between us and the catacombs had already become irreconcilable. On the surface, Donglin's governor can love the people like his own children. But in the catacombs, he'd rather the catacombs humans treat him as a devil, an executioner. Gu Xiong spoke calmly. He continued, After that, I joined the war. I killed many people, including ordinary catacombs humans and catacomb soldiers. Fong Ping, this is a war between races. The kind that won't rest until one side is dead. In the catacombs, the last thing we need is mercy. Fong Ping pursed his lips. I know. You don't know. Gu Xiong shook his head. The war between humans and the catacombs can sometimes confuse people. For example, humans will also massacre the catacombs' human villages and kill the babies who are still in swaddling clothes. Can you imagine you'll do that? Fong Ping fell silent. After a while, he said, I'll take it one step at a time. When the time comes, Fong Ping, am not a soft-hearted person. I hope so. Gu Xiong continued. That's why, when facing the evil sect martial artists, our attitude toward them is the same as the catacombs. Kill them all. Tomorrow, you might encounter some normal people, even the elderly, the weak, women, and children. However, at this time, those who are still with the evil sect martial artists and refuse to leave are their diehard followers. The evil sect martial artists won't keep running away with those half-believers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. This time, the evil sect martial artists were forced to flee here by the Nanjiang military department and several grandmasters. If they were not fanatics, they would have been abandoned by them long ago. Fanatics are different, so they will be left behind. Right now, those who are mingling with the evil sect martial artists are fanatics who have been brainwashed for many years. While the two of them were talking, the others were also listening. After a while, Gu Xiong suddenly said, I think there's a sound. Fong Ping heard some movement too, and his brows furrowed instantly. When the sound got closer, Fong Ping suddenly said in a low voice, You guessed it right. Are those guys in front from the military department or martial arts universities? The military department. How brutal. They're forcing us to remember. Fong Ping immediately guessed the military department's intention. You don't keep watch at night, do you? Well, this time we've been ambushed. Next time, remember? As for the casualties, there would not be too many. There were hundreds of martial artists here, all of them ranked 2 and 3 martial artists. As soon as they noticed, they would react quickly and counterattack quickly. However, no matter what, if they let someone sneak into the barracks and a few assassination experts came, the casualties would definitely not be small. These lackeys are treating us like practice stones. In front of the campsite, a few martial artists followed slowly, whispering to each other. I can see that, but things have already come to this. We can't escape the encirclement. Kill one and earn one. Aren't they treating us like practice stones? Satisfy them. I wonder if it's those lackeys from martial arts universities in the campsite, or casual martial artists like us who have been deceived. No matter who it is, kill. Kill as soon as we enter. Kill anyone we see. The few of them discussed softly. As for death, since they were trapped here without any help, they knew that death was their only destination. However, they firmly believed that even death was worth it. Contributing to the world integration. On the day the world integration came, the Pope would definitely complete the great unification. When that time came, perhaps they could be resurrected again. The catacombs humans could be resurrected. Naturally, the Pope who controlled the world could do it too. Death was not scary. While they were discussing, the military department martial artists in front of them disappeared. The evil sect martial artists were not surprised. These people were probably waiting outside to see the results. The leading martial artist smiled and said in a low voice, "Kill as many as you can. We'll return to the real world sooner or later." The three people behind him nodded heavily. Resurrection. This was what they believed in. In the next moment, the four of them advanced quickly, approaching the campsite. When they were less than 10 meters away from the campsite, the last person suddenly felt his scalp go numb. There was a shrill sound of wind coming from above. "Someone's here." Puff! Fong Ping, who was in midair, slashed his saber down and cut the other party in half. An elevated stance could really stand in the air. Grandmaster. No. An elevated stance martial artist. The three people in front heard the sound too. They quickly distanced themselves, staring at Fong Ping who had landed. 4 rank 3s. This bit of strength isn't enough. No. There's only 3 now. Fong Ping chuckled and said softly, "Leave the leader to me. You guys can split the rest." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping dashed toward the leader. The 3 people from the evil sect wanted to surround Fong Ping. In the next second, Gu Xiong appeared from the darkness and blocked one of them. Fu Changding, Zhao Lei, Tang Songting, and a few other boys appeared quickly and surrounded one of them. "Kill!" The 3 people from the evil sect growled. None of them were afraid of death, and they began to fight with Fong Ping and the others. Fong Ping's saber slashed down. The other party also swept his saber horizontally. The sound of collision spread throughout the campsite. The student shouts could already be heard inside. Middle stage rank 3. Fong Ping's gaze was slightly solemn. This was the first time he had encountered a same rank martial artist after entering rank 3. However, his vitality was much lower than his. Clang! The sound of metal colliding rang out continuously. Under the night sky, sparks flew everywhere, illuminating each other's faces. "If you have a combat technique that you're good at, show me." Fong Ping provoked the other party. As soon as he finished, the other party suddenly pounded his chest, his vitality surging violently. In the next moment, the broadsword in the other party's hand slashed toward Fong Ping like lightning. Fong Ping wanted to retreat, but his expression quickly turned solemn. With a roar, he swung his saber and slashed. Clang! A loud sound rang out again. Fong Ping's arm trembled. His chest felt stuffy, and he could not help but spit out some blood. F***CK. You really do have a combat technique that you're good at. Fong Ping cursed. He no longer hesitated. His Changdao left a series of afterimages in the air. His feet stepped into the air, and his body grew a lot taller. He slashed continuously from top to bottom. Fong Ping, who was in an elevated stance, had the geographical advantage. His saber slashed down again and again. The other party could not dodge, so he could only defend. Clang clang rang out incessantly. The evil sect leader had already forgotten how many times Fong Ping had slashed. At the last moment, there was a soft crack. Then, the leading martial artist's vision went black. From the corner of his eyes, he could only see a blood-red glow of a saber. 800 calories, 800,000. The last thing he heard was this sentence that he did not quite understand. Chapter 208. Fong Ping killed his opponent quickly. Gu Xiong was not much slower than him. Fong Ping had just caught his breath when Gu Xiong sent his opponent flying with a punch. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. As for Zhao Lei and the others, it was a little troublesome. Li Zhaoxiu and Jin Lei, who had just entered rank 2, were now injured and forced to withdraw from the battle. Seeing that Fong Ping and the others had finished their battle, Zhao Lei panicked. With a low growl, his legs expanded instantly and collided with his opponent's legs with a bang. Idiot! Fong Ping cursed. Then, in the midst of the others' indignation, Fong Ping stepped on the ground and descended from the sky. Bang, bang, bang. A series of slashing sounds could be heard. Very quickly, the other party followed in the footsteps of the previous three. Fong Ping. Zhao Lei's face was gloomy. I'm about to chop him to death, and you're here to snatch my head. Fong Ping glanced at him and said exasperatedly, Is your brain flooded with water? Is your leg broken? Can you still play tomorrow? Zhao Lei's tone was sluggish. It was obvious that he was the one at a disadvantage in a hand-to-hand fight with a rank 3 martial artist earlier. Although he was a twice-on martial artist, he was still a middle stage rank 2. He was still a step away from upper stage, so the difference in vitality was huge. 3 early stage rank 3 and 1 middle stage. As Fong Ping spoke, he saw that there were already students running toward the door. He said quickly, Collect the spoils of war. This should be on us. Before the others could make a move, Fong Ping had already moved quickly. Very quickly, he looted the bodies of the 2 dead martial artists and stuffed them into his pockets. Then he picked up the weapons and held them in his arms. In front of the campsite. Soon, all the students had gathered, and the lights were shining brightly. Looking at the corpses in front of them, everyone fell silent. Right at this moment, a military department martial artist suddenly appeared and said loudly, Relay an announcement from all martial arts universities. The basic score for this test was 100 points. All the students of the School of Tactics and Strategy would have 10 points deducted. As for the other academies, 5 points would be deducted. Killing a rank 1 martial artist would result in a unified reward of 5 points. Rank 2 martial artists would be awarded 5 points based on the 4 stages of beginner, intermediate, advanced, and peak. Early stage rank 3 martial artists are 30 points, middle stage 50 points, upper stage 500 points, and peak 1,000 points. Everyone was a little dumbfounded. Disregarding the deduction of points, the School of Tactics and Strategy had 10 points deducted. These people had to admit it, and so did Fong Ping and the others from the School of Weaponry. That wasn't the key, but the reward for killing the enemy. The difference between an upper stage rank 3 and those of other ranks was too great. 500 points was equivalent to killing 100 rank 1 martial artists. Did the evil sect have 100 rank 1 martial artists? After announcing the news, the person from the military disappeared in the dark of the night. On the student side, many of them looked gloomy. Points were deducted. After deducting 10 points, he was only left with 90 points. As for the cultists, there were only about 300 of them. Each person would get 1 point. Normal people would not get any reward. Rank 1 martial artists would get 5 points. If they fought this battle, they might not even get the basic points in the end. Although they didn't know what the test points were for, it wasn't their first time doing this, so they knew that it was definitely related to the rewards. I have 175 points now. Fong Ping, on the other hand, was quite happy. He suddenly remembered something and cursed, I'm on night watch. It's fine if you don't reward me, but you even deducted my points. Gu Xiong was too lazy to say anything. You're on night watch? If I didn't wake you up, you'd still be snoring away. Fong Ping scolded. He looked at the people who were whispering and said, I saved everyone's lives this time. 4 rank 3 martial artists, including a middle stage rank 3 with a trump card. If they met Fong Wenxiang, they could kill him with 1 slash. Everyone, I saved your lives. Isn't anyone going to give me a token of appreciation? Fong Wenxiang's expression darkened. Fong Ping did not care. I'm telling the truth. Do you not believe me? Fong Wenxiang was only a middle stage rank 2, not upper stage yet. If he met a martial artist who was a whole rank higher than him, knowing some combat techniques would not be enough. Fighting someone of a higher rank, fighting an early stage rank 3 was his limit. Zhao Lei and the others had fought an early stage rank 3 for a long time. Fong Ping asked for a token of appreciation shamelessly. Everyone ignored him, but no one mentioned the spoils of war. The enemy had ambushed them, and Fong Ping and the others had killed them in advance. There was no point in mentioning it. They did not mention it, and Fong Ping did not say anything either. He walked back happily. Just as he was about to leave, Gu Xiong pulled him and said, "It's almost dawn. Let's keep watch for a while to prevent a second ambush." It can't be, right? It can. This is common in the catacombs. All right. Fong Ping had no choice but to turn around and leave the campsite. He had just left when someone outside the campsite suddenly shouted, reporting the students from the School of Tactics and Strategy will have 20 points deducted and everyone else will have 10 points deducted. "Uncle, what about me?" Fong Ping shouted hurriedly. He looked around and did not see any cameras, but he still said loudly, "I shouldn't have been deducted, right? I was on night watch both times." They deserved it if they deducted it. It's too unfair to deduct it on me. The military department martial artist glanced at Fong Ping. He seemed to be talking to someone. After listening for a while, he nodded and said, "The few of you can be exempted from punishment." After saying that, the burly man disappeared in front of everyone again. Fong Ping said happily, "In that case, the first 5 points are also exempted. They're really pitiful. The students from the School of Tactics and Strategy only have 70 points now." As he spoke, the hundreds of people in the campsite all ran out and stood at the entrance. Among the crowd, someone said helplessly, "We're not the team's commanders. Shouldn't the commanders take responsibility for this?" Although that was what he said, no one paid attention to him. The so-called commanders of the 3 teams were also chosen by them. Now, naturally, they had to take the blame together with them. "Fong Ping, you're so disloyal." Yang Xiaoman was a little helpless. She walked over and complained, "I don't even know what happened, and you've already deducted 15 points. I was even arranged to be outside the campsite. I'll just wait for 85 points to end the assessment." Fong Ping said seriously, "You've overestimated yourself." "What? You think you'll end the assessment with 85 points? I'm guessing you'll end with 60 points. Get lost." Yang Xiaoman was furious. She was already depressed, and now she was even more depressed. Fong Ping looked around and said with a smile, "I'm guessing that there are surveillance cameras around the campsite, including at Boulder Village. Our every move is being watched by the instructors. Just wait and see. To teach us a lesson, there must be a lot of people who aren't satisfied with their basic points. If we don't get the full basic points, I'm afraid we'll be punished when we return to school. If that's the case, we'll have to kill at least a few evil sect martial artists to recoup our losses." Yang Xiaoman and the others looked at each other. If they did not kill, it meant that they would not be able to pass the assessment. The students in the campsite had learned their lesson. All of them endured until dawn. Then they discussed for a while and started assigning tasks. Some cooked, some guarded the gates. Even the roads leading to Boulder Village were patrolled. Fong Ping, on the other hand, did not receive any tasks. He was so depressed that he might as well have done so. Everyone had really overestimated these female martial artists. They might be able to hack people, but they really could not cook. Almost no one ate lunch. Everyone was popping pills. Even blood and chi-replenishing pills were better than this. After the meal was over, everyone gathered again. Actually, we've been taking it for granted. Ambushing them at night might not be very effective. They already know that we're coming. We can't treat them like they're deaf and blind anymore. I suggest that we move out in the afternoon and go to Boulder Village to see what's going on. Attack or not attack? We'll see. Wasting time here won't do us much good. This was Gu Xiong's suggestion. Everyone thought about it and had to admit that they were too optimistic. Wait here until nightfall to scout out the situation. Then, when the situation was confirmed, everyone would decide on how to attack. It was a good idea, but the other party had hundreds of people. They were not fools. How could they possibly wait for them to attack? Fong Ping heard that and said, "I agree. We were all wrong yesterday. This isn't a group of solo martial artists who are running away. This is a group of evil sect martial artists who know that they're going to die. If we delay any longer, who knows what other tricks they'll come up with. Let's move then." When it was time to depart, everyone realized another problem. There were no cars and no means of transportation. This meant that they had to go on foot. 15 kilometers was not far, but it was not near either. Even martial artists would have to spend 1 or 2 hours walking. "Let's go." There's definitely no cars nearby. There's no need to ask. Gu Xiong did not hold out much hope. He could tell that this was also a simulation of the catacombs combat environment. In the catacombs, walking was the most common. Temporary campsite. Tang Feng exhaled and said, 10 points will be deducted collectively. No notice. Some of the instructors nodded, but some disagreed. There's nothing to disagree about. There are a few ambush points on the way to Boulder Village, but no one said anything about scouting the way. If it's really in the catacombs, who knows where to collect the corpses? It's not like we haven't mentioned it in our usual courses, especially in the School of Tactics and Strategy. This is the main course. Now, it seems that the knowledge in the textbooks has been returned to the textbooks. The CCMU instructor said, actually, the main reason is that we underestimated the other party and thought that the evil sect martial artists were just SOSO. Including the knight, they killed the 4-rank, 3 martial artists who came to attack, which gave everyone this idea. The evil sect martial artists either ran away or waited for them to come. Almost 300 martial arts university students moving together. In their minds, they might have known that scouting the way was necessary. Tang Feng knocked on the table lightly. He thought for a while and said, "This is a lesson. I don't think I'll make this mistake next time. Everyone, go back and increase the punishment. Those who didn't achieve the basic points are not strong enough. If they are not strong enough, they don't have other specialties. Suppress them for a while. Even if there were problems in other areas, if they had enough strength and killed some strong enemies, it would be enough for them to achieve the basic points." He took a step forward and killed a martial artist who had just dug his way out of the ground with one slash. Everyone attack. The scene was chaotic. The martial artists fought back one after another. 5 minutes later, the scene quieted down. Someone said in a low voice, 3 dead. The evil sect martial artists had planned this. They dug many holes nearby and hit almost 20 people. Earlier, when the boulder attacked, everyone was in a panic and did not pay attention. Although their numbers were more than 10 times that of the other party, 3 people died in the end. F***CK. Fong Ping felt very aggrieved. Everyone was not weak. If they fought head-on, the evil sect martial artists might not be able to kill or injure them even if all of them attacked. Now, however, they had just arrived at this place, and 3 were dead and a few more were injured. Sob sob in the crowd, a female martial artist sobbed softly. The few who died were friends and classmates. The people from MCMAU did not die, but a few were injured. The 3 who died were all students from other martial arts universities. Gu Xiong sighed and said in a low voice, "This is war. The catacombs are much more dangerous than this." "Enough," Fong Ping interrupted. "At the end of the day, we're still not strong enough. If we were grandmasters, so what if they ambushed us?" Having said that, Fong Ping gritted his teeth and said, "These people know how to build catapults." Han Su from CCMU walked over and looked at Boulder Village from afar. He said in a low voice, "Martial artists don't need to build intricate ones. With their strength, they can prepare in advance and make some simple projectile devices. They can achieve the effect of a catapult by relying on their own strength." As he said that, Han Su said, "With the current situation, everyone is a little depressed. They're worried that there will be more traps. What do you want to say? Just say it." What CCMU means is that we won't fight as a big team anymore. This is actually not in line with the style of martial artists. We're not martial artists from the military department, but independent martial artists. It's not a good thing to blindly learn from the military department's big team battles. Divisions, small teams, individual teams. In addition, powerhouses will form a team and attack Boulder Village head-on. We can resist the boulders and open up a path for the people behind us. We'll charge in together. They're not as strong as us. We need to be the sharp knife, not the soldiers on the battlefield." Han Su said, then said, "Fierce as fire, fast as the wind. That's what a martial artist is. Attack head-on. If we can kill them, we'll slash them for a while. If we can't, retreat quickly. They're the turtles in a jar. We're not. This group of people is new to this kind of battle against many people. We need to form our own fighting style and not copy others." Fong Ping said in a low voice. This messed up all the arrangements in the early stage. In the early stage, it was just a bunch of rookies, armchair strategists. Now, 3 people have died. We haven't even entered the enemy's lair. 3 people died for nothing, Han Su said again. Can you call the shots on MCMAU's side? Fong Ping thought for a moment again. When he saw Jean lay limping over, he said suddenly, all right, on our side, we'll send 3 rank 3 martial artists and 7 peak rank 2 martial artists. We'll form a team of 10 people. Later, we'll attack head-on together. Right now, everyone's vitality is full. Even if we encounter a strong enemy, we'll still have the strength to fight. Otherwise, if we're exhausted like this, we'll lose our current combat strength in the later stage. The same goes for CCMAU. Gather a team of 30 people and split into 3 teams. CCMU will attack the main entrance of the village. You guys attack from the 2 sides and attack together. The rest of you attack from 3 sides. Even if we force the enemy up the mountain, we have to raise their morale. Fong Ping nodded and did not say anything else. He walked toward Yu Xianghua and the others and began to discuss new tactics. The previous plans were made when the other party was foolishly waiting for them to attack. Now, it was obviously not very reliable. This was also Fong Ping's first real encounter with a large-scale martial artist battle. Perhaps a battle of a few hundred people was not considered a large-scale battle in the catacombs, but for Fong Ping, there were too many things to learn. At this moment, he somewhat understood the purpose of the assessment. This was also to let everyone learn their own combat style and not to always copy the predecessors. As for the deaths of a few students, Fong Ping did not know if it was worth it. Perhaps in the eyes of many people, only when they experienced death firsthand would they remember it deeply. Usually, no matter how much was said, people might not take it seriously. Actually, in the end, it's still the law of the jungle. The weak are eliminated, the strong survive, and those who can adapt survive. Fong Ping said in his heart, then I'd rather always be a powerhouse than a weakling. Dying in a trial without knowing why was not worth it than dying in the catacombs. Powerhouses, even in the catacombs, have the right to speak. Someone as strong as Commander Li Jun can also do whatever he wants in the catacombs. Fong Ping took a deep breath. Very soon, the other 9 people from MCMAU had arrived. Later, we'll attack from the right side. Kill as many as you can. If you can't, wait for the signal and retreat together. Don't run away blindly. The rest of you, wait outside. If we let you in, all of you go in immediately. If we don't, all of you retreat quickly. Martial artists have great mobility. We don't need to be like normal people who have to use human lives to fill the gaps. A powerhouse, a martial artist stronger than the strongest of the evil sect martial artists, can exhaust all of them to death. Fong Ping had a plan in his heart. He gave a few reminders and began to prepare to break in. When he saw that Zhao Yang, Gu Xiong, and the others were ready, the 3 of them looked at each other. Then, Fong Ping growled, "Go!" As he spoke, the martial artists from the 3 parties rushed toward Boulder Village. Chapter 209. Fong Ping and the others dodged the boulders one by one. Those that they could not avoid were forcefully smashed. Soon, they arrived at the village entrance. The next moment, a cold roar came from the village. Kill! Dozens of people rushed out of the village with the roar. These people were like mad demons. Their strength was average, and there were even ordinary people among them. However, they rushed at Fong Ping and the others as if they did not care about their lives. Fong Ping even saw some old people, crazy old people with red eyes. Seeing this, many people's weapons stopped in their hands. Gu Xiong punched one person away and roared, "Kill!" As if awakened from a dream, everyone fought back their trembling and attacked, killing the innocent, even the old, the weak, women, and children. This is the so-called martial artist. Ridiculous! Someone in the village said loudly in a cold tone. These are the guardians who say they want to protect Earth and humanity. A bunch of old people, weak and powerless. They've never killed or set fire to anyone, but now they're being slaughtered by you. Is this your benevolence? Hypocrites! There are still 64 ordinary people in the village, 12 people above 60 years old, and 6 children under 10 years old. I'd like to see how many you can kill. After saying that, a few confused children appeared in the crowd that rushed out of the village. Fong Ping and the others stopped suddenly. Gu Xiong's expression was solemn. He suddenly roared, "Retreat!" The next moment, no one said anything. The 3 teams walked faster than they rushed, disappearing in front of the village entrance in an instant. Outside the village, at the temporary camp, everyone fell into silence again. A deathly silence. Zhao Yang punched the ground hard and said through gritted teeth, "Bastards." Yu Xianghua rubbed his forehead and said tiredly, "What do we do now? Do we kill or not?" Everyone fell silent. Gu Xiong gritted his teeth and said, "This is war. In a war with the catacombs, all catacombs humans must be killed. The same goes for evil sect martial artists." "We know, but that's what you say. Can you really do it when you see this?" "Gu Xiong, why don't you lead a team and take care of these ordinary people? We'll take care of the martial artists. Even if we die in battle, it'll be better than this." Gu Xiong fell silent. He had seen it before, but he had never done it. Especially those children. Their faces were blank. They might not even know what was right and what was evil. The ones who were bewitched were their parents and grandparents, not themselves. A group of youths in their 20s would not resist if they were asked to fight to the death with a martial artist. Even if they died in battle, the grief would only last for a while. However, it was truly difficult for them to do anything to these children. Han Su pondered for a moment before saying, "Then what do we do now?" The evil sect martial artists are clearly using these people as shields. They're holed up and won't come out, slowly dragging it out with us. Fong Ping was silent for a while. Then he asked, "What would other people do if they encountered such a situation?" Gu Xiong growled, "Kill? Don't think that these people don't even have the strength to truss a chicken right now. If you are really soft-hearted, you might suffer a great loss at their hands. I think the school probably had this in mind when they left this base to us. Why don't we knock them out?" Someone suggested. "We'll hand them over to the army after we've annihilated the evil sect martial artists." "That's a good idea, but we might not be able to conserve our strength. There's nothing we can do even if he's dead. Everyone, this is the limit of what we can do. We can't keep dragging this out just because we're afraid of this. In the end, we still have to deal with it." Everyone looked at each other and finally came to a consensus. 10 minutes later, they were nearing Boulder Village again. Just like before, it was still the same group of civilians mixed with the children who charged out. This time, Fong Ping and the others did not retreat. They attacked one after another, slashing at the enemy's neck. As for whether they were unconscious or dead, it was hard to tell at the moment. The average person attacked while the average person was on guard, preventing the martial artists from the village from taking the opportunity to charge out. In reality, there were indeed martial artists who charged out from the village. Everyone was holding back their anger. They were no longer polite to this group of martial artists. They shouted angrily, and in the blink of an eye, more than 10 of the martial artists who had charged out were killed. "Retreat, defend!" Someone in the village shouted loudly. Then, the evil sect martial artists who had charged out retreated one after another, once again hiding in the village. Fong Ping and the others did not chase after them. They carried the civilians who had collapsed on the ground and retreated. "Hypocrites! If you want to kill them, just do it. Why do you have to pretend to be kind and righteous? Now that they've been captured by you, they'll die sooner or later. Why don't you just kill them and reduce their pain?" Someone in the village sneered again. Zhao Yang turned around and roared, "Just you wait. When we meet you, we'll definitely give you a quick death." "Ha! Then I'll wait for you. If you want to use us as your training stones, then we'll do our best. Before we die, we'll let you understand how cruel this world is." The person who spoke from the village was nowhere to be seen, but Fong Ping and the others could feel his vitality. It was very strong, possibly an upper stage or even peak rank 3 martial artist. The other party had not attacked yet. They did not know if it was because of fear or something else. Just as Fong Ping and the others were retreating, the person in the village suddenly said, "Release!" The next moment, the boulders attacked again. Boulder Village did not have many things, but it did have many stones. Everyone did not want to waste their efforts and compete with these stones. They quickly moved forward, avoiding the boulders' attack range. Just as they returned to the camp, the boulders' attack stopped. Among the waiting students, someone suddenly said, "Throw these people out." Fong Ping and the others were stunned for a moment. Gu Xiong seemed to have thought of something and shouted, "Throw them out! Everyone else retreat!" Fong Ping and the others heard his shrill cry. In the next moment, they all threw the people they had captured aside and retreated in all directions. Bang! Just as everyone retreated, a huge explosion sounded. Stone fragments flew everywhere. When the dust settled, many people looked a little haggard. They looked at the temporary camp again. Now there was a huge hole in the ground. Bastards! Is anyone hurt? Some superficial wounds. At this moment, Fong Ping was also very tired. Yang Xiaoman gritted her teeth and said, "They have bombs on them. It's detonators. Boulder Village is close to the mountain. They used to open mines too, so there are detonators left. The evil sect martial artists did it on purpose. They probably guessed what we'd do if we didn't notice and brought them into the crowd. I'm afraid, although the hundreds of students were all ranked 2 and above, if they were in the explosion range, many of them would be dead or injured." After a few consecutive setbacks, many of them looked tired and self-doubting. Fong Ping cursed and said in a muffled voice, "This is a simulation of a catacombs battle. Don't tell me there are bombs in the catacombs too?" Gu Xiong shook his head, then sighed softly. "There are no bombs in the catacombs, but this isn't a test of the bombs. It's a test of our ability to adapt." "Test my ass!" Fong Ping cursed again and said angrily, "If there really was an explosion in the crowd just now, how many people would have died?" Everyone was silent. The student who had asked them to throw the people out said, "Suicide attacks are a common practice in battles against evil sect martial artists. There are traces. It's just that we haven't encountered it before." Everyone looked at him. He was an upper stage rank 2 martial artist from CCMAU. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, he smiled bitterly. "Don't look at me. We've never experienced a battle of this scale before. Once we went into battle, we only thought about charging and killing. Moreover, the changes were too fast. We didn't have time to judge." Yu Xianghua exhaled. After some thought, he said, "This time, there's no need for us to discuss. Everyone, what should we do now? The other party's normal people are mostly dead. Right now, the village should be full of martial artists." However, the village's environment is more complicated. It's hard to tell how many martial artists there are and where they're hiding. Whether we continue to stand guard outside or charge in, we need to have a plan. I'm afraid they want to fight us in the streets. Boulder Village is just a village, but the buildings are very tall. Many of the houses are built with bluestones from the mountain. If we enter the streets, we'll suffer great losses. Their current goal is to kill more people. These people are not afraid of death. They're just trying to wear down our patience by delaying time. When we lose our patience and swarm into the village, I'm afraid we'll be separated quickly and many people will be killed." Fong Ping heard that and said, "Right now, they're relying on their geographical advantage. Is it feasible to set fire to the village?" An MCMU student shook his head. "Most of the buildings in Boulder Village are made of stone. The effect of setting fire to the village is limited. Moreover, this is not an enclosed village. Then, what do you guys think we should do now? Are we just going to watch?" In the crowd, someone discussed in low voices for a while. Finally, someone said, "Right now, we need to break their geographical advantage and force them to fight us head-on. If we fight them head-on, they probably won't be our match. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come up with so many tricks. Our suggestion is, first we move together. Rank 3 martial artists will slowly flatten the buildings in the village. After all, it's just a village. There aren't many houses. If we push forward and spend some time, we'll be able to flatten these houses. Second, let the people from the School of Production build some simple catapults. We'll also bombard them with boulders. We're all martial artists. Our goal is only to destroy the buildings in the village. However, I'm afraid it'll take some time. There's no hope of completing it today. Fong Ping said in surprise. You guys know how to build this thing too? It's just a simple projectile device. It's not really a catapult. It mainly relies on martial artist strength. If we build it according to the needs of ordinary people, the time needed to complete it will take a long time. This isn't a huge city either. It's just a village. Our goal is to destroy the buildings and force the evil sect martial artists out of their hiding places. We can still do it? Fong Ping and the other rank 3 martial artists looked at each other. Soon, someone asked, how long will it take? If we build it overnight, we can probably make 7 or 8 by tomorrow morning. Then if the other party goes up the mountain, we'll use fire to attack. Actually, there aren't many trees in the mountain range behind Boulder Village. It's mainly rocks. If we burn these trees, they won't have any geographical advantage compared to us. Then, if the martial artists push forward, I'm just afraid that we'll use up too much vitality and the other party won't give us time to recover. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, if everyone is willing to support me with some vitality pills, I can be a human destruction machine. How about that? Everyone was stunned for a moment. Fong Ping continued, my vitality recovers very quickly. These evil sect martial artists might not know about it. We can create a false impression that we've exhausted a lot of vitality because we're destroying the buildings. We might even be able to lure them into attacking first. As for the projectile device, we'll have to wait until tomorrow. No one knows what kind of changes will happen tonight. Everyone, keep your guard up and maintain your vitality. The damage I can cause alone is no less than the damage caused by 10 rank 3 martial artists working together. Think about it. If the other party thinks that our 10 rank 3 martial artists have exhausted their vitality, will they let this opportunity go? There were not many rank 3 martial artists to begin with. If the other party thought that many of the powerhouses among the students had exhausted their vitality, they might take advantage of this recovery period to attack. Zhao Yang asked, how many vitality pills do you need? Give me 30 to 50 rank 3. Everyone fell silent. After a while, Fong Wenxiang said faintly, then let's wait for the projectile device to be built. Fong Ping was really asking for an exorbitant price. 20 pills is fine too. Seeing that everyone was still silent, Fong Ping said gloomily, you guys are too stingy. Even if you do it yourselves, including the stone throwing, won't it exhaust your vitality? You still have to replenish your vitality and consume pills. How about this 15 pills, no less? I'll supplement some myself too. Everyone looked at each other. After a while, CCMU Zhao Yang said, what do you guys think? If we really let Fong Ping do it, these pills will be deducted from the loot later on. Does anyone have any objections? We can accept 10 pills. If it's too much, our gains in the future may not be worth these 15 rank 3 vitality pills. In MCMAU, 15 rank 3 vitality pills cost 40 credits each. This alone would cost 600 credits, which was worth 18 million. It was hard to say if the gains in the future would be that much. These evil sect martial artists knew that they were going to die, so they might have used the pills themselves. If they did not use them, they might all be destroyed at the critical moment. The real gains in the future would be the alloy weapons in the martial artists' hands. Evil sect martial artists, on the other hand, did not have many alloy weapons in their hands. Fong Ping calculated. 10 rank 3 vitality pills would be worth 12 million, and this was just the value of the pills. In addition, it would provide him with more than 8 million wealth points. If he sold the pills in the future, he could probably provide tens of millions of wealth points. Even if he used up so much wealth points, the value of the pills would still be there. This was a net profit. Thinking of this, Fong Ping said righteously, everyone's doing this for the mission, so 10 pills. Let's do it together. After flattening the buildings, they can only go up the mountain and fight us head-on. Going up the mountain? I don't think the chances are high. These people are prepared to die. When the time comes, I'm afraid they'll only think about killing as many as they can, and won't continue to escape. Once they feel that we can't defeat them, will the military department and the outer instructors attack? We don't think so, but they might not think it's impossible. If they fight us head-on, there might be some results, but if they fight the instructors head-on, they'll all die in vain. As he said that, Fong Ping added, all rank 3 martial artists will gather with me. The others will stay a little further away from us. Everyone will create the illusion that we're out of energy and lure the other party to ambush us. If someone really ambushes us, we'll unleash our full combat strength and give them a surprise. Fu Chanding suddenly said, can you really do it? Your vitality will recover, and your energy will be depleted too. When the time comes, Fong Ping grinned, I should be able to. If I really can't hold on, I'll retreat first. Does anyone have any objections? Sure. If we really flatten the buildings in the village and let the other party fight us head-on, unless the other party has many powerhouses above upper stage rank 3, they won't be a match for us. Gu Xiong nodded. We have more people than them. As long as their rank 3 martial artists don't fight against our rank 2 martial artists, our casualty rate will be minimized. One-on-one, the evil sect martial artists are almost no match for us at the same rank. Their weapons are simple and crude, and their combat techniques are crude. If it's 2 against 1, we can kill them quickly. As he said that, he added, that's why the rank 3 martial artists are under the most pressure. We need to hold off their rank 3 martial artists, even upper stage and peak rank 3 martial artists. Otherwise, if the peak rank 3 martial artists appear in front of the others, I'm afraid there will be heavy casualties. There won't be many who are above upper stage rank 3. If there were, they would have rushed out and killed 2 or 3 of them at most. Same old plan. If these people really appear, we rank 3 martial artists will hold them back, and the rank 2 martial artists will go against the other rank 3 martial artists. After changing the plan again, everyone rested for a while before setting off for Boulder Village together. Fong Ping also received the 10 rank 3 vitality pills that everyone had pulled together. Chapter 210. Boom! Fong Ping had already flattened the 4th house with a loud rumble. After all, martial artists of the 3 lower ranks had not reached the inhuman stage. Fong Ping was sweating from exhaustion, his vitality depleted greatly. Back at the village, Grand Missionary, what do we do now? Someone asked in a low voice. A middle-aged man in the crowd frowned slightly and said slowly, we will die today, but death is not something to be afraid of. Now, it was just a bunch of fledgling lackeys of great martial arts universities. These rookies have chosen the most strenuous and exhausting method. If that's the case, then let's satisfy them. Rank 1 martial artists start ambushing and harassing them, slowing them down and wearing down their patience. Once their patience is gone, they will become more anxious. Even if they take turns, the vitality depletion cannot be replenished in a short period of time. Rank 2 and 3 martial artists, gather up. Listen to my command in half an hour. Attack the rank 3 martial artists together. Half an hour is not enough for them to replenish their vitality. We'll wait and kill as many as we can. Yes. Following the middle-aged man's command, evil sect martial artists started appearing and harassing them. Gu Xiong and the others did not mind. They killed them when they came and pretended to help in bulldozing the houses, their faces pale. There were not many buildings in Boulder Village, but there were still about 100 houses. However, after bulldozing more than 10 houses at the village entrance, the entirety of Boulder Village was gradually revealed to everyone. Fong Ping glanced at the houses at the back and said in a low voice, bulldoze some houses in the middle section. That should be enough. Leave a few people behind to pretend to replenish their vitality. A few rank 3 martial artists sat down cross-legged and tossed a chocolate or something into their mouths before swallowing it. After that, after bulldozing a few houses, a few people started to replenish their vitality. Half an hour later, Fong Ping panted. It's about time. I'm guessing they'll come out soon. If they don't, it means they've snuck into the back of the mountain. They were almost at the end. If they still did not come out, it meant they had run away and were no longer in the village. Gu Xiong suddenly shouted, retreat! Everyone retreated. If they kept moving forward, it would only make them suspicious. We can't leave. As soon as Gu Xiong finished speaking, more than 10 people rushed toward them from both sides of the house. Gu Xiong roared, everyone else support us. Stop those people. The Grand Missionary roared. Dozens of people surged out from behind them, bypassing Fang Ping and the others to attack Zhang Ziwei and the others. The Grand Missionary cut to the chase. He glanced at Fang Ping and the others and roared, "Kill these lackeys and fulfill their wish to enter the trial." With that, the Grand Missionary headed straight for Gu Xiong. Gu Xiong didn't show any weakness. He stomped on the ground, and his fists glowed with a faint blood-red light. In the blink of an eye, he engaged in close combat with his opponent. Bang! Before Fang Ping and the others could make a move, Gu Xiong was sent flying backward. He growled, "Peak rank 3, send a few more." The difference between a peak rank 3 martial artist and an early stage rank 3 was too big. When Gu Xiong was at rank 2, he could already fight against middle stage rank 3 martial artists. However, now that he had entered rank 3, he was sent flying after exchanging a few blows with his opponent. At his roar, Zhao Yang, Yu Xianghua, and the others abandoned their opponents and rushed toward the Grand Missionary. Fang Ping wasted no time and dashed over quickly. 6 rank 3 martial artists surrounded and attacked the Grand Missionary. Fang Ping's foot landed on his opponent's thigh, but he was forced to take a few steps back. His vitality fluctuated wildly. A peak rank 3 martial artist. Fang Ping's expression was solemn. As expected, the difference between an early stage and middle stage rank 3 was obvious. His opponent's defense was too strong. If they were hit by a counterattack, Fang Ping and the others would be severely injured. While they were attacking the Grand Missionary, Chen Pengfei suddenly roared, "Upper stage rank 3, come help." At his words, the rank 3 students next to him abandoned their opponents and began attacking the upper stage rank 3 martial artists that Chen Pengfei was facing. Out of the 15 rank 3 martial artists, 10 of them were occupied by these two. Among the evil sect martial artists, there were still 7 or 8 rank 3 martial artists left. They began attacking the remaining students. Even so, the rank 3 students who were attacking the Grand Missionary and the upper stage rank 3 were at a disadvantage. Zhang Ziwei, hurry up and kill them. Come and help. Peak rank 2 martial artists. Chen Pengfei roared. For early stage rank 3 martial artists were being beaten back. The upper stage rank 3 martial artist they were facing was wielding an alloy staff. With one swing of the staff, everyone's vitality fluctuated and their internal organs trembled. Chen Pengfei was the main attacker, but he kept vomiting blood as he retreated. The other 3 were of limited use. Zhang Ziwei and the others were also rapidly killing the evil sect martial artists who were blocking their way. Although these people were few in number, they were not afraid of death, and they managed to keep more than 200 people at bay. The Grand Missionary snorted coldly. "You've got some wits about you. You didn't use up much vitality, but that won't do you any good. After killing all of you rank 3 martial artists, I think the dogs of martial arts universities won't have the foolish idea of using us as practice stones in the future." The Grand Missionary did not use a weapon, so he still had the energy to speak. As he spoke, his opponent knocked Zhao Yang back with a punch. Zhao Yang's face was flushed, and the next moment, he spat out a mouthful of blood. "Hold him back!" Zhao Yang roared. His temples caved in instantly, and his hands glowed with a faint, visible blood-red light. Fang Ping and the others saw this and held the Grand Missionary back. In the next moment, Zhao Lei's fists moved like lightning, aiming for the Grand Missionary's head while he was distracted. The Grand Missionary let out a low growl, forcing the people around him to retreat. His body suddenly shot up. Zhao Yang's fist did not hit his head, but his shoulder. The sound of metal colliding could be heard. "Not bad. If you were upper stage rank 3, I'm afraid I would have been seriously injured." "What a pity." The Grand Missionary's shoulder caved in slightly, and blood flowed out, but he was not injured to the core. Zhao Yang had not mastered his ultimate move. His punch had exploded with almost 200 calories vitality, reaching the level of a rank 3 killer move, but it had only slightly injured his opponent. Zhao Yang's vitality was unstable, and his vitality was declining rapidly. On the other side, Chen Pengfei and the others could not hold on much longer. Fortunately, Zhang Ziwei and a few peak rank 2 martial artists rushed over and began to fight the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. Fang Ping and the others had overestimated themselves. Even an upper stage rank 3 and a peak rank 3 martial artist were too much for them to handle, let alone a rank for martial artist. The opponent's casual attacks were not any weaker than their so-called trump cards. His vitality outbursts were not that much either. Every move he made could produce 20 to 30 calories vitality, which was close to their 100 calories vitality outbursts. The Grand Missionary, on the other hand, did not make many moves. He mostly relied on his body to defend. Gu Xiong yelled, "He's draining our vitality on purpose." A peak rank 3 martial artist vitality was as high as 1,000 calories. Their muscles, bones, and flesh were honed to their peak. Other than their brains and internal organs, they were almost indestructible. The Grand Missionary would often rather suffer minor injuries than fight back. Instead, he would let everyone else attack him, relying on his strong body to block the attacks. Gu Xiong roared. The Grand Missionary did not make a sound. Everyone knew this. If you did not attack, he would attack. If you were not careful, he could kill you with one move. Everyone was stuck between a rock and a hard place. They had no choice but to unleash their full strength. The Grand Missionary's body was riddled with wounds, but they were all minor. Fang Ping and the others had suffered worse injuries, and their vitality had been greatly depleted. The others were starting to panic. Fang Ping suddenly shouted, "You guys go take care of the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. Leave this to me." Everyone was stunned. Even the Grand Missionary was stunned. "What are you looking at? Go." With that, Fang Ping's Changdao slashed out, his vitality almost condensing into a saber glow. The Great Missionary focused his mind and stopped being distracted. A blood-red glow appeared on his fist as he punched the saber, causing it to tremble. "Let's see how many more moves you can use." Even the Grand Missionary had to focus on defense when faced with Fang Ping's 100 calories vitality outburst. How many more times could Fang Ping use such a move? Soon, Fang Ping told him how many more times he could use it. Dong, dong, dong. Fang Ping slashed 5 times in a row, each blow producing 100 calories vitality outbursts. The Grand Missionary kept retreating. The others did not hesitate either. They all remembered Fang Ping's advantage. His vitality recovered extremely quickly, but they did not know what his limit was. Now that Fang Ping was using a big move, the Grand Missionary had no choice but to defend himself. They had to take care of the upper stage rank 3 martial artists first. The Grand Missionary frowned slightly. He was just about to push Fang Ping aside when Fang Ping quickly caught up to him and unleashed consecutive slashes again. Bang! The Grand Missionary took a few steps back after taking a few hits, his feet leaving cracks in the ground. "You can still continue?" The Grand Missionary's eyes were cold. He huffed. "Looks like you're a genius from a martial arts university. Killing you is better than killing a bunch of rank 2 and 3 martial artists. You'll know once you try." Fang Ping's forehead was dripping with sweat. The Grand Missionary was no longer on the defensive. With a low growl, he arched his spine and appeared in front of Fang Ping in the next second. His fists and legs moved in unison, each attack aimed at Fang Ping's vitals. Fang Ping's forehead was dripping with sweat. He defended with all his might, but he was still forced to retreat. His body was covered in blood. "You know how to attack, but so do I." Fang Ping gritted his teeth. He planted his heel on the ground and took a step back, putting some distance between them. Then, he continued slashing at the Grand Missionary with all his might. The Grand Missionary's expression changed again. How many times had he slashed? 20 times? 30 times? A peak rank 3 martial artist vitality was much stronger than a middle stage rank 3's. The explosive power of 1 calorie was comparable to that of a middle stage rank 3 martial artist or below. His vitality was 1,000 calories. If both of them had the same offensive power, he could sustain attacks with the power of 2 to 3,000 cal middle stage rank 3 martial artists. On the other hand, usually had a vitality of around 600 calories. In terms of endurance, he could exhaust 6 or 7 middle stage rank 3 martial artists to death, perhaps even more. That was because he did not just defend without attacking. In a one-on-one fight, a martial artist like him could defeat a middle-stage rank 3 martial artist in a matter of a few moves. Fong Ping, on the other hand, was attacking instead of defending. Every move he made was a killer move. Under such circumstances, even the Grand Missionary had to retreat a little. Let's see how many slashes you can unleash. The Grand Missionary made up his mind. He did not believe that a middle-stage martial artist could unleash an unlimited number of big moves. It was true that Fong Ping could not unleash an unlimited number of attacks, but he did not need to. Unleashing an attack for a short period of time was enough. Even if the Grand Missionary was only defending, it did not mean that he did not consume vitality. He had expended a lot of vitality when everyone had ganged up on him, and he was still expending it now. Fong Ping did not think that his opponent could outlast him. 36 slashes. 37 slashes. Fong Ping counted silently. Each slash cost more than 100,000 wealth points. He had probably used up more than 4 million by now. A peak rank 3 martial artist can really take it. At that moment, Fong Ping realized that he was at his limit. His bones were already creaking, and his skin was starting to crack, bleeding profusely. Blood qi could be replenished, but other physical conditions were still limited. The Grand Missionary was also bleeding from the corner of his mouth. His body was covered in scars, but he was still smiling. "Are you all right?" With that, the Grand Missionary let out a low growl, and the afterimage of a fist flew toward Fong Ping's throat. Fong Ping growled and whipped out his right leg. His foot cracked from the punch, and the alloy combat boots that had accompanied him for so many days showed signs of tearing. Fong Ping cried out in pain and retreated quickly, dragging his injured leg behind him. The Grand Missionary was relentless and charged at him again. Fong Ping roared and slashed with his Chongdao again. Bang, bang, a series of slashes hit him. The Grand Missionary gasped and stopped where he was. Fong Ping, on the other hand, was panting. He was drenched from head to toe. "It's almost 5 million. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. He had really suffered a huge loss this time, including the flattening of the house and the killing of the 2 martial artists the night before. He had spent close to 10 million wealth. He was also covered in scars. If this went on, it would be a waste to kill this guy. On the other side, the upper stage rank 3 martial artist was at the end of his rope. He fought with all his might, forcing everyone to retreat. Occasionally, someone would be injured and thrown out of the fight. A few peak rank 2 martial artists joined the fray, surrounding and killing the man. As for Fong Ping, no one cared about him anymore. At least it looked like he could hold out for a while. It would not be too late to help after killing the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. Is a peak rank 3 really this strong? Fong Ping looked at the Grand Missionary, feeling a little helpless. The man's vitality was almost depleted, but he was only fighting with his bare hands. He was fighting with his bare hands, yet he had the strength of a rank 3 martial artist. If the Grand Missionary had not refused to retreat, he would have fought to the death. Even at this point, he still had a chance to escape. Fong Ping would have a hard time killing him. The Grand Missionary smiled and panted. "Stop looking. People like us know that we're going to die, so we'll kill as many as we can before we die. You're interesting. You could probably kill a team of middle-stage rank 3 martial artists all by yourself. It's a pity that someone like you is willing to be their dog." Fong Ping's pupils contracted, and he retreated hastily. The next moment, the Grand Missionary hammered his chest, blood gushing from his mouth. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Fong Ping. Fong Ping had no time to retreat. He gritted his teeth and held his Chongdao horizontally in front of his chest. Bam! There was a loud crash, and the surface of the Chongdao caved in a little. Fong Ping felt a sharp pain in his chest as he flew backward, blood gushing from his mouth. "Not dead yet? You've honed your organs?" The pale-faced Grand Missionary was a little surprised, but he quickly gave chase. Fong Ping fell to the ground, blood gushing out of his mouth like it was free. F***. Fong Ping was both angry and thankful. The bodybuilding pill had honed his organs, so they were not as weak as the average person's. Otherwise, he would have died from the impact of the punch. Fong Ping's heart ached again when he saw the dent in his Chongdao. At that moment, a desperate roar came from the side. More than 10 rank 3 martial artists had finally worn down the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. The Grand Missionary's expression changed slightly, and his footsteps slowed. Gu Xiong and the others rushed to Fong Ping's aid. Chun Yunxi and the others hurried over to help Fong Ping. On the other side, Gu Xiong and the others had already engaged the Grand Missionary. When Fong Ping saw this, he clutched his chest and turned to Chun Yunxi. "Do you have a survival pill? Lend me one." Chun Yunxi quickly stuffed a pill into his hands. Fong Ping swallowed it in one gulp and said angrily, "Get out of my way. He's mine." He had to kill this bastard today. If he did not kill him, he would have suffered a great loss in this mission. Gu Xiong and the others were also injured. Zhao Yang said angrily, "Now is not the time to be a hero. Get out of my way, or you'll have to compensate me with a pill." Fong Ping was flustered and exasperated. In the next moment, he rushed forward with his saber. The blood-red glow on his saber became even more dazzling. His vitality overflowed, and the power he unleashed was even greater than before. Zhao Yang and the others retreated when they saw that he did not care about the enemy. This bastard, they did not know what to say. How many times had Fong Ping used his big move from start to finish? Could this still be considered a life-saving ultimate move? Fong Ping's attack had not reached the level of an ultimate move, but with his consecutive slashes, it was not much different from an ultimate move. According to everyone's estimates, his vitality had probably been depleted by more than 5,000 calories. From this, it was clear how big the gap was between a peak rank 3 and everyone else. Even with such an outburst, Fong Ping had almost been killed by one punch. The Grand Missionary's vitality had been depleted by Fong Ping's frenzied slashes, and he could only rely on his physical strength to fight back. After a while, Gu Xiong shouted, "Finish him up! Search the village! Kill them all!" On Fong Ping's side, 5 rank 3 martial artists who had not expended too much vitality were on standby, ready to rescue him. 200 credits for a life-saving pill. 1 pill, and I've already lost so much. I won't rest until I kill you today. Fong Ping was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. His Feng's widow was damaged, his alloy boots were torn, and his wealth had been depleted by almost 10 million. How could he not be angry when he had suffered such losses because of one person? I don't believe that a peak rank 3 can be indestructible. I'll shatter your internal organs even if I do. Fong Ping's bones creaked. The Grand Missionary was not feeling well either. Fresh blood gushed out of his mouth, mixed with pieces of his internal organs. No one had ever thought that a middle-stage rank 3 martial artist could unleash nearly 100 slashes with a 100 calories move. Other than calling him a rascal, there was no other way to describe his fighting style. Just as Fong Ping's slashes were numb, the Grand Missionary fell to his knees with a thud. Fong Ping's neck slash landed squarely on his skull. The next moment, Fong Ping slumped to the ground too, mumbling, "I finally killed him." Fong Ping could not bring himself to be happy. This mission had been frustrating for him the entire time. Even if he had killed the strongest peak rank 3 martial artist, the price he had paid was too high. More than 100 slashes, close to 10,000 vitality. Old Man Li just lay there and let me slash at him. Do you think I'll kill him? Fong Ping recalled Old Man Li's words. Even if he lay there and let Fong Ping slash at him, Fong Ping would not be able to kill him. Chapter 211. Half an hour later, Gu Xiong and the others walked overtiredly. After a head count, there are a total of 214 evil sect martial artists. 140 of them are rank 1, 65 of them are rank 2, and 9 of them are rank 3. Compared to the martial arts universities, there was a huge gap between this kind of strength. There were close to 300 people on the martial arts university's side, and the lowest was rank 2. However, in a battle with such a huge disparity in strength, everyone suffered a great loss. As Gu Xiong spoke, he sighed and said, "On the martial arts university side, 6 people have died in battle. All the rank 3 martial artists are injured. Moreover, they were not light injuries. Yu Xianghua, Zhao Lei, and the others were all severely injured. Zhao Lei's face was pale, but he smiled and said, "It's all thanks to Fang Ping." If Fang Ping had not entangled the opponent's peak rank 3 martial artist, at least a few rank 3 martial artists would have died this time. Fang Ping, on the other hand, lay on the ground without making a sound. He took a look at his wealth points and realized that he was only left with 12 million. Before this, he had received 10 rank 3 vitality pills from everyone. His wealth was as high as 25 million. In order to kill this peak rank 3, Fang Ping had spent 13 million wealth points and a life-saving pill. Fang Ping had borrowed this pill, and it did not increase his wealth. The Feng's widow was dented, the alloy boots were damaged, and there were many injuries on his body. His internal organs were fine, and he had taken a life-saving pill and was constantly recovering. He ignored the others. When he saw Qin Yunxi approaching, he panted and said, "I'll return it to you later." "No need. I'll return it to you. I don't live off a woman." Fang Ping snorted, his face full of dissatisfaction. Then he suddenly said, "I'll sell you rank 3 vitality pills. 10 pills for 11 million. Just give me 5 million. Everyone was dumbfounded. This guy was still in the mood to sell medicine? Qin Yunxi was taken aback as well. Fang Ping frowned. "Why? 10 rank 3 vitality pills are worth 400 credits, and your life-saving pill is worth 200 credits. 5 million isn't too expensive, is it?" "No, you." "Then it's settled." After saying that, Fang Ping got up and tossed a bottle of pills at her. "Send me 5 million when you get back." Qin Yunxi was at a loss. She held the pill and did not know what to say. At this moment, Fang Ping was already walking outside. Fu Changding came over and grinned. "You're amazing. You almost killed a peak rank 3 martial artist by yourself." You think I want to?" Fang Ping felt like dying. He had lost more than 20 million just to kill that guy. Fu Changding did not continue. Everyone had seen how many big moves Fang Ping had executed in order to kill his opponent. As for Fang Ping, he did not seem to have taken any medication. No one knew what was going on. Perhaps he had taken it in advance, or perhaps there were other reasons. It was not convenient for him to ask about it now. Fu Changding whispered, "Aren't you the best at taking advantage of others? Qin Yunxi doesn't want it anymore. Why would she return it?" "Get lost. Did I take advantage of you? I just don't like to owe others. I prefer an equivalent exchange." Fu Changding sighed softly. "I can tell. You see everything as a transaction. Actually, this may not be a good thing. Qin Yunxi lent you pills, but you turned it into money and returned it. There's no camaraderie at all. It's even more hurtful. Actually, if I were you, I wouldn't return it this time. At most, you can compensate her the next time she's in danger. Now, money is money, and a deal is a deal." Fang Ping frowned. "Isn't that good?" "Maybe you think it's good, but for us, our relationship will be greatly discounted. I think it's good. Who knows when martial artists will die?" Fang Ping said mildly. "My instructor said that martial artists don't need to invest too much in each other. In the past, I thought it was cold-blooded. Now that I think about it, it's not bad. If 6 people died in a random mission, how sad would their friends be? Instead of being sad in the future, it's better to be like this. One day, no one will feel so sad when they die. Why bother?" Fu Changding shook his head, but said nothing more. Fang Ping ignored him and did not participate in the search. He walked out of the village and found a place to bandage his wounds. 2 hours later, the search ended. A total of 192 pills were found. Most of them are normal vitality pills. The total value is less than 30 million. They had wiped out a foothold of hundreds of martial artists and found pills worth less than 30 million. A mission like this was the biggest loss of all. 54 weapons, 30 F grade, 18 E grade, and 6 D grade. The F grade is worth very little. Altogether, it's only worth about 20 million. After some calculations, the total value was only about 50 million. There were close to 300 people involved. If they divided the loot evenly, each person would only get a little more than 100,000. In reality, there was no such thing. You took 10 rank 3 vitality pills, valued at 12 million. Deduct that first. Also, we've decided to compensate each of the 6 students who died in the battle with 3 million. Fong Ping, do you have any objections? Zhao Yang and the others looked at Fong Ping. Fong Ping had killed the Grand Missionary in this battle. Although he was not as strong as a peak rank 3, exhausting a peak rank 3 to death was a testament to his strength. At this moment, they had to ask for Fong Ping's opinion. No objections. Therefore, the remaining loot is worth about 20 million. What we mean is that if we divide it evenly, it's only a few tens of thousands per person. To us, it doesn't mean much. Many people were injured this time, so we'll use some of it to treat everyone's injuries. You could take 1 million from the remaining loot. The rest will be divided among those who contributed more. The remaining money was only about 10 million. Giving Fong Ping 1 million was indeed a lot, taking up almost 1/10 of the total. Fong Ping felt a little depressed. He knew he would suffer a loss, but he did not expect it to be this much. All right, do whatever you want. What should we do now? Wait for the school to check. Everyone stopped talking. They sat down, cross-legged, and fell into silence. After a while, Yu Xianghua sighed. I thought we were the best of the best. We've all carried out many missions and completed them beautifully. Now we understand that we're lacking too much. We made mistakes again and again, underestimated our opponent's time and time again. In the end, if Fong Ping had not kept the peak rank 3 martial artist occupied, I'm afraid we would have lost more than 20 people. Everyone sighed. Suddenly, someone said, "It's good that you know your flaws." Tang Fong and a group of instructors walked over from a distance. Tang Fong did not look at the nearby village. He said, "Get up, everyone. I'll show you something." Everyone got up. At this moment, more than 10 military vehicles stopped beside them. "Get in," Tang Fong ordered. Everyone got in. Less than half an hour later, the vehicles stopped at the entrance of another village. At this moment, a battle had broken out here. On one side were soldiers in military uniform, and on the other side were evil sect martial artists. Projectile! Fong Ping and the others had just arrived. Accompanied by a loud roar, a group of people behind the soldiers who were participating in the battle threw bamboo spears. The powerhouses of the evil sect martial artists blocked, but the weaker ones were pierced straight through. Spear! Following the order, the soldiers in the front row stepped forward in unison. They held the spears in their hands and stabbed in unison. Even though there were many powerhouses on the other side, they kept retreating, leaving the weaker ones who were a step slower to be stabbed to death. Projectile! Orders were relayed. The soldiers at the back kept taking turns to throw the javelins. The number of martial artists on the other side kept decreasing. Some evil sect powerhouses tried to break through the formation, but were quickly stopped and held back. The others continued to kill the weaker ones. More than 10 minutes later, the weaker ones were all killed. The powerhouses in the army retreated and continued to throw the javelins. Are they depleting their vitality? Tang Fong said mildly. They're also a group of new soldiers who have never been on the battlefield. There's one good thing about them, though. They listen to orders. The martial artists here are about the same strength as yours. There aren't many martial artists in the army here, less than 50 people. The mission of these 50 people is to hold back the strongest powerhouses and not give them a chance to break through the formation. After killing all the rank 1 and 2 martial artists, these rank 3 martial artists will be depleting their vitality. Facing so many people, they'll die sooner or later. Fong Ping frowned. We're different from the soldiers. We don't have the consciousness to move as one, and we can't plan in an orderly manner. We're all independent martial artists. Tang Fong scolded. Idiot! Am I asking you to learn this? I'm asking you to learn how to use all your strength. How did you use more than 200 rank 2 martial artists? In the end, they were just bystanders at the periphery. If you let these rank 2 martial artists hold long weapons and divide them into 10 teams of 20, then take turns to kill that peak rank 3 martial artist. If you let rank 3 martial artists stop him from escaping, he can only hold on. He can hold on for 1 or 2 rounds. What about dozens of rounds? If you let 3 to 5 rank 3 martial artists watch the periphery and stop him from using the midair step to escape, he can't escape. Fong Ping said sheepishly. That's too slow. Humph! Tang Feng let out a humph and said discontentedly. Have you forgotten how you and Fu Chanding lost? What? When you and Fu Chanding first entered the school, how did the others surround you and make you admit defeat in the end? One-on-one. Who's your match? The strong ones hold you back, and the weak ones take turns to attack. If you could think of it back then, why can't you think of it now? At the end of the day, it's because you think you're strong, very powerful, even invincible, that you choose to fight head-on. But are you really invincible? You're just a bunch of newbies. Do you really think you're so strong? A bunch of rank 3 martial artists look down on rank 2 martial artists, thinking that they're dispensable, even thinking that they're a burden. Is that what you're thinking? Where did you get the confidence to think you're so strong? Everyone was speechless. Most of the things that everyone had discussed previously were rank 3 martial artists. Rank 2 martial artists, especially those below peak, had almost no right to speak. Tang Feng reprimanded them and looked at everyone. This is what happens when you're overconfident. You're confident that you're strong, confident that no one would dare to ambush a group of 300 martial artists. The evil sect martial artists don't actually have a system. Once they're unified, more than half of you will die. In the catacombs army is more elite than ours. I don't want you to die not at the hands of the strong, but at the hands of a bunch of weaklings. Tang Feng said that they were overconfident. Everyone looked at each other and said nothing. Everyone was very confident. After all, everyone had dealt with evil sect martial artists before. They felt that it was just SOSO. If they were to fight head-on, the other party would definitely not be their match. That was why from the beginning, everyone had this idea. Powerhouses against powerhouses, weaklings against powerhouses. Kill first, then talk later. Of course, that was the truth. However, it was also because of this that some people lost their lives. If they really treated the other party as a big enemy, they might not necessarily die. Other than the upper stage and peak rank 3 martial artists, the other party was much weaker than them. Everyone has to be careful when dealing with the enemy. Strategically, we should look down on the opponent, but tactically, we should pay attention. Also, has anyone thought of inspecting the base? Let's not talk about whether there are enemies in the base. We left 500 alloy javelins in the base's warehouse for you. Has anyone seen them? Fong Ping and the others looked at each other, then fell silent again. Tang Feng rubbed his temples and frowned. We've actually destroyed the core of the mountain behind Boulder Village. If a few people go up there and move around a little, they'll be able to push the boulders down and cause the mountain to collapse. Has anyone gone to check? Once the mountain collapses, Boulder Village will be buried under the boulders. How many of the enemies do you think will survive? Everyone continued to look at each other in silence. Tang Feng sighed. A bunch of brainless martial artists who only have brute force. Fong Ping had used these words to criticize him in the past. Now he was being despised, but he could not refute it. If everyone was like you in the catacombs, humans would have been defeated a long time ago. Did the school really only teach you to use your fists and not your brains? The students from the School of Tactics and Strategy lack some strength. They're all just there for show. Didn't the students from the School of Production think of setting up some traps to lure the enemy to attack first? Along the way, there were many places suitable for setting up traps. Didn't anyone think of giving it a try? If the other party could think of digging a few holes and hiding some people to ambush you, why didn't you think of that? Other than attacking head-on, what else could you think of? Are you the ones who were really anxious? They were the ones who were anxious. They wanted to break out of the encirclement, but you weren't. You could attack or retreat. In the end, they were the ones who wore out your patience, not the other way around. If you had turned around and left, look, who would be the anxious one? You would have gone through so much trouble to flatten the houses. You should have the initiative in choosing the location of the battle, and not let the initiative fall into the hands of others. As for you, if you think that you're not suited for large-scale battles, then divide your forces and form teams. But the premise is that you have to let the other party disperse. Have you tried that? If you insist on charging at them together, you can't divide your forces. Do they know how many people you have? If you had a few hundred people charging at them together, even a single person would not have dared to fight. If more than 10 people had gone over, the evil sect martial artists would definitely have swarmed out and attacked you first. Finding a suitable place along the way and luring them into a trap is a piece of cake. The evil sect martial artists are not afraid of death. They only want to kill. If there are fewer people, they will definitely pursue and attack. Finding a suitable place to surround and kill them. If you use 500 alloy javelins, you could have killed more than half of the evil sect martial artists on the spot. After that, with so many people surrounding and killing those martial artists, would anyone die? Tang Feng's mouth was dry from all the talking. He said angrily, "There were close to 300 people, but none of you used your brains. You just listened to whatever Fong Ping and the other brainless people said." Fong Ping protested, "Instructor, it wasn't my suggestion." Tang Feng glared at him and exhaled. The people in the military department said that martial arts university students are useless. You bunch of people have brought shame to our martial arts universities. It was a simple mission, but 6 people had died. Also about the battle with that peak rank 3 martial artist. Are you all idiots? In the end, you let Fong Ping fight him one-on-one in the arena? But I killed him, Tang Feng said impatiently. That's because you cheated. You slashed him a few hundred times. How much vitality did you use? After saying that, Tang Feng suddenly asked, "Where did you get all that vitality from?" "Hoarded." Tang Feng was stunned. Fong Ping said casually, "If I don't digest the pills I eat, they will accumulate vitality in my body. I thought that this was going to be dangerous, so I swallowed dozens of pills in advance. You're asking for it." Tang Feng scolded and frowned. "Go and check your body later. You ate dozens of pills and your body didn't explode. What's going on?" "I'm not checking." Fong Ping shook his head. "This is my trump card. It's not appropriate for you to ask about it here, instructor." Tang Feng was speechless. Everyone had seen it. What trump card? Did he think everyone was blind? Ignoring him, Tang Feng said suddenly, "No matter how much vitality you have, you still need to use it. You didn't use it well. You only killed him after hundreds of slashes, and you almost died. Don't rely on this. The Grand Missionary's strength is average, and his cultivation of combat skills is average. Otherwise, if he mastered a rank 3 ultimate move and killed you in one move, would you have a chance to kill him? The Grand Missionary's cultivation of combat skills was average, and his vitality outburst was not high. If the other party had a vitality outburst of 300 calories, it would be equivalent to Fong Ping's ultimate move of 700 to 800 calories. One move, and Fong Ping would be beaten to death. This was why Fong Ping could wear him out. Otherwise, he would have been killed with one punch. Fong Ping said helplessly, "I spent all my time honing. That's why I was able to enter middle stage rank 3. I've been thinking of cultivating combat skills after I enter upper stage." This time, Tang Feng did not criticize him. They were all young people, and they were in a hurry to cultivate. Time was tight. At this time, it was inevitable that they would be lacking. "Let's go. This time, all of you should reflect on yourselves. The assessment scores are still being tallied. For those who don't reach 100 points, the schools will increase their training. We sent you into the catacombs in the hope that you'll be useful, not die in vain. As a school, we can't teach you everything step by step. You'll have to figure it out on your own. Don't always think that you're so strong." Battles of this scale are very common in the catacombs. We often encounter catacombs villages that are no weaker than Boulder Village today. Others can kill them all by themselves. Based on your situation, entering the catacombs is suicide. For someone like Fong Ping, who can still accumulate vitality, it's normal for him to massacre a village of this scale alone. Now, if he goes in, he'll die immediately. Once again, Fong Ping was used as a negative example. Fong Ping was helpless. Big Lion had a handle on him today. Whatever he said was true. There was nothing he could say to refute. Still, Fong Ping felt that it was better to keep a low profile for the time being. From what Big Lion had said, he might have felt that something was wrong with him. In reality, It was indeed not normal. If an instructor asked me to swallow a pill next time and perform it on the spot, won't I be screwed? Fong Ping considered the problem and tried to come up with a solution. However, there was no time to swallow the pill today. Fong Ping was also reluctant to do so. It was too wasteful. Forget it. I'll take it one step at a time. If I really have to swallow a few dozen pills, I'm afraid my body will explode. Chapter 212. After watching the recruits' encirclement and annihilation of the evil sect martial artists, Tang Feng sent everyone back to camp to recuperate. Tang Feng, on the other hand, left with the instructors. Watching them leave, the few soldiers in charge of driving said in a low voice, "The few evil sects have sent out 3 high-ranked powerhouses and a group of middle-ranked martial artists this time. They're now surrounded in the White Mountains. The martial arts university instructors must have gone to participate in the encirclement." Fong Ping's side could only be considered a small fight. Nanjiang's local grandmasters, together with the surrounding provinces, had gathered 9 high grandmasters. They were not here to take care of the 3 lower ranks. 3 high ranks? Fong Ping and the others were shocked. Were the evil sects that strong? They actually sent 3 high grandmaster-level powerhouses. Of course, the evil sect's high ranks were the same as the catacombs' high ranks. They were only high ranks, not grandmasters. It won't be dangerous, right? Many of them looked worried. The soldier in charge of driving smiled and said, "It won't be a problem. We've sent 9 high grandmaster powerhouses. If it's really troublesome, Master Tang and the others would have gone there long ago." Everyone thought about it and agreed. The instructors still had the time to stay and watch their performance. Obviously, the situation was going well. The car arrived at the camp quickly. Fong Ping had just gotten out of the car when a soldier suddenly ran out of the camp and shouted, "Fong Ping, someone's looking for you. Answer the phone." Fong Ping heard that and subconsciously touched his pants pocket. Only then did he remember that his phone had been torn apart during the fight. Who called here? Fong Ping was a little surprised. He did not even know the base's phone number. Only MCMU's instructors could call here. Without saying anything, Fong Ping followed the soldier to the barracks. After entering the barracks, Fong Ping picked up the landline phone and said, "I'm Fong Ping. You killed a peak rank 3 martial artist?" Hearing this voice, Fong Ping immediately smiled and said, "Instructor taught me well." Lu Fengru said lightly, "Don't give me that. I heard that you slashed him hundreds of times, and every move was 100 cal vitality outburst?" That Lu Fengru suddenly said, "How much do you weigh?" Fong Ping was stunned. Lu Fengru said again, "Rapid vitality recovery. Even without using pills, can extract the world's energy particles to recover and replenish vitality. This is a special case for grandmasters." Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. Lu Fengru continued, "How can a martial artist of the 3 lower ranks have the special case of a grandmaster? First, the bone marrow would be like mercury. In other words, when it came to bone honing, ordinary people would have their bones honed to 90%. Those with extraordinary talents would have their bones honed to more than 90%. Their bone marrow would be like mercury, and their weight would be heavier than ordinary people. Secondly, his mental power was different from ordinary people. He could extract energy particles. If one could achieve these 2 points, it could be said that even if one was in the 3 lower ranks, one's vitality could not be extinguished. If he cannot do it, then he should be prepared to be studied. A martial artist of the 3 lower ranks with an undying vitality might change a lot of things. Think about it yourself. If you can't do these 2 things after leaving the catacombs, your life will be spared, but you'll have to make a few more trips to the lab." Fong Ping was stunned. After a while, he said in a cold sweat, "Teacher, you mean ostentatious, high profile. You brought this upon yourself. In front of hundreds of people, your chi and blood are not extinguished, and you can use your ultimate moves endlessly. What do you think? Do what I said, and things calm down. Mental power shouldn't be a problem. The main thing is that the bone marrow is like mercury. Even I can't do it now. You have to think of a way yourself." "Teacher," Fong Ping swallowed and said dryly, there is no special way to hone one's bone marrow. The previous bone honing was based on the completion of honing of all the bones in the body, reaching 90%, including the skull. At this moment, vitality naturally penetrates deep into the bone marrow and begins to be honed and fused. This is a metamorphosis. The honing of the bone marrow is completed in a day. The bone marrow is like mercury, the vitality is like a tide, the golden skin and jade bones are achieved, and the person can be said to be an immortal. At that time, the human body will no longer have any flaws. From the inside to the outside, it will be beyond human. Therefore, for this kind of person, vitality recovery is no longer a problem. The bones and muscles are all breathing and extracting energy, and the vitality is always at its peak. Fong Ping's expression was bitter. There was no use in saying all this. The main thing was, how could he do this? Lu Fengru said suddenly, "Do you know that Nanjiang's Wang Jinyang is known as half a grandmaster? Ah, or should I say, a potential grandmaster? This, Sun City, might have a secret belonging to Sun City. Go ask him, and see if he will tell you, because his bone marrow is chalcedony." Fong Ping's heart shook. "Teacher, you mean? Don't ask me. I don't know. Maybe you are too?" Lu Fengru said lightly, "Whether it is or not, right now, you are naturally chalcedony." Fong Ping, this kind of test is very simple. Chalcedony is much heavier than bone marrow. Weighing is the best way. No one will break your bones and dig out your bone marrow to test it. Those who have honed their bones are heavier than the average person. If you weigh 200 caddies right now, those with mercury-like bone marrow might weigh 250 caddies, or even heavier. All right, I'm hanging up. Don't think that everyone in the world is an idiot. After saying this, Lu Fengru hung up the phone. Fong Ping's head was already drenched in sweat. When Tang Feng spoke earlier, he already had a bad feeling. As expected, his performance this time was too much. In addition, he did not even take a pill, so he attracted attention immediately. Lu Fengru knew that it was most likely Tang Feng who told her about this. Lu Fengru did not intend to investigate further. She only told Fong Ping that there was only one way to solve this problem. Fong Ping was a person with a fully honed bone marrow. It was completely understandable that this kind of martial artist would have some special traits. If he could achieve mercury-like bone marrow and faster vitality recovery in the 3 lower ranks, what was wrong with that? However, Fong Ping wanted to cry, but had no tears. The system was very deceitful. It had not unlocked more than 90% of his bones. How could he possibly achieve mercury-like bone marrow now? Lu Fengru's other words were also very clear. He could keep his life. He was an MCMAU student and a prodigy, so it was not necessary to take his life. After that, drawing his blood and bone marrow and occasionally going to the lab to be a guinea pig were necessary. As long as he did not understand the mystery, Fong Ping could forget about having too much freedom. At this thought, Fong Ping suddenly remembered Lu Fengru's words. A potential grandmaster. Fong Ping did not expect Wang Jinyang to have such a title. Also, from what Lu Fengru said, Wang Jinyang's bone marrow had been honed. This was also something Fong Ping did not expect. At this thought, Fong Ping remembered that he was in Nanjiang now, so he immediately called Wang Jinyang. "Brother Wang, you're in the base?" "Yes, I just finished my mission." "Brother Wang, I want to ask you a question." "Speak." I think I've honed my bones up to the bone marrow. I don't know if there's any problem now. I heard from my instructor that you've honed your bone marrow?" Wang Jinyang was extremely shocked. After a while, he said, "Find some time to come to NMAU. I'll be here for the next few days." "Okay, I'll be there right away." Fong Ping did not waste any more time. If he did not solve this problem soon, he would be in big trouble. Once this problem was solved, he could explain the lack of resources in the early stages. Actually, there were signs of this problem long ago. However, Fong Ping's lack of resources in the early stages was too big. It was impossible for him to keep so many pills without using or selling them. If that was the case, he would not have so many wealth points now. Relying on those pills to cultivate, Fong Ping was already good enough to enter rank 2. How could he enter middle stage rank 3? He had fooled Fu Chanding and the others once, saying that he had grandmasters supporting him. Fu Chanding was starting to take it seriously. Fu Chanding might not know if he had the support of grandmasters, but how could those grandmasters not know? It was impossible for grandmasters to appear out of nowhere. This was no longer the ancient times, where information did not circulate. The rise of a grandmaster would not go unnoticed. Even a grandmaster from the military would not be a nobody in the circle. It was just that few people in the outside world had heard of them. If the grandmasters really wanted to find out the truth, they could do so in no time. That was why he could only use the old grandpa to fool the layman. Those in the know would not believe him. Back in the tent, Fong Ping packed his luggage and looked at Fu Chanding and the others. I'm going out for a while. Call me if you need anything. I'll get a new SIM card later. You're leaving? Yes, I have something to do. About the assessment. Isn't it done now? I'm just counting the points. Besides, I don't know when the teachers will be back. It's fine. I'll leave first. Remember to contact me if you need anything. Having said that, Fong Ping grabbed his backpack and hurried out. Fu Chanding and the others looked at each other. Clearly, they did not know what Fong Ping was going to do in such a hurry. More than 3 hours later, River City. It was already past 10 o'clock at night. The sky was pitch black. River City was not as bustling as Magic City. At 10 o'clock, there were fewer people outside. In a coffee shop near an MAU, Fong Ping strode in and waved at Wang Jinyang from a distance. Wang Jinyang nodded slightly as he sipped his coffee. When Fong Ping arrived, Wang Jinyang looked him up and down. He frowned slightly and said mildly, I can't tell. Brother Wang, I've just received news that you managed to slash more than 10,000 vitality points during the encirclement. That, even I can't do it. Similarly, even if your bone marrow has been honed, you can't do it unless you've mastered the bone marrow of your entire body. Fong Ping said sheepishly, Maybe I've really mastered the bone marrow of my entire body. I don't understand this myself, Old Wang laughed and said mildly, It doesn't matter. It's normal for martial artists to have secrets. There's no point in getting to the bottom of it. What do you want to know? It's just how to cultivate the bone marrow. There's no other way. There's no special way. You probably found me because someone told you about me. Wang Jinyang said calmly, In the modern world, I'm gifted. In the past, it was a kind of disease, an incurable disease. There's something wrong with my bone marrow. After I honed my bones, I discovered this problem. At that time, my instructor was still around. He felt that there was something wrong with my body and went to the vice-chancellor. The vice-chancellor examined me for a while and guessed that my bone marrow was jade-textured. Of course, I didn't go for a checkup. It was meaningless. That's what everyone thinks, so let's just treat it that way. As for why this mutation happened, I can't explain it. Maybe it's just like what I said, a disease. There's no cultivation method? Fong Ping looked bitter. Wang Jinyang said suddenly, Not necessarily. Maybe my bone marrow's disease isn't complete. In the past, I felt that my bone marrow was liquid, but now it's turning into a solid. Take a guess. How did it happen? How did it happen? Fong Ping asked hurriedly. The bone marrow is deep inside the bones. Vitality can't penetrate and hone it normally. Vitality honing is also a kind of energy honing. After I entered the middle ranks, I often tried using energy ores to cultivate. I realized that when the energy released by energy ores reaches a limit, or even when the energy appears to be liquefied, vitality force can penetrate deep into the bone marrow and undergo honing. You can give it a try. Actually, you don't have to use energy ores. In MCMAU, there's a vitality pool. You can also try to unleash the maximum release of vitality force and see if it can penetrate deep into the bone marrow. I think it should be possible. Of course, none of the 3 lower and 3 middle rank 3 martial artists have been able to do this. Even peak rank 6 martial artists would choose to hone their skulls instead of their marrows because their skulls were blocked and their vitality force was too dense. Maybe there's a need for guidance, such as mentality guidance. I actually don't know much about this, But this is the only solution I know. Fong Ping's expression became even more bitter. Was it reliable? Old Wang was actually extravagant enough to use energy ores to cultivate. This thing was a controlled resource. The black market price was at least 1 million per gram, and it was sold by the gram. Old Wang actually suggested that he try it when the energy released by energy ores was liquefied. How much would it cost? Could MCMU's energy room do this? If the system was more reliable, I wouldn't have to do this. Fong Ping felt a little helpless. Then his gaze suddenly flickered. His system had been upgraded when his wealth was 1 million and 10 million respectively. Once his wealth reached 100 million, would it be upgraded again? After the upgrade, would he be able to hone his bones to 100%? The possibility of this was still very high. In other words, he had two paths to take now. No, there was only one path. Earn money. Whether it was trying to go to the energy room or increasing his wealth to 100 million, he needed money. A lot of money. He could only try both if he had money. Without money, he could not do anything. Now his wealth was only 12 million. In other words, he had to earn at least 88 million. The prerequisite was that he did not use his wealth. Money. Where can I get so much money? Right, financing. The only way Fong Ping could think of to earn a lot of money was financing from afar. After financing, the value of the shares he held would exceed 130 million, and his wealth would exceed 100 million. He would also have the capital to activate liquefied energy cultivation in the energy room. Old Wang only gave an answer that was like a guess, but Fong Ping was satisfied. At least now, he was not blind and did not know what to do. Old Wang was also giving him away. Wang Jinyang saw that Fong Ping was deep in thought and did not disturb him. After drinking his coffee for a while, Wang Jinyang said, "You've improved very quickly. You killed a peak rank 3 martial artist, even if he was just a weakling at his peak. In Sino Nation, there are more than 1 million martial artists. There are about 1 million in the 3 lower ranks. The 3 middle ranks are probably 1/10 of the 3 lower ranks, which is about 100,000 people. These people are scattered across the land of Sino Nation and in the various catacombs. If you really look at a province and a city, there are very few peak rank 3 martial artists. If you can kill a peak rank 3 martial artist, it means that you're no longer at the bottom of the martial arts world, a nobody. Right now, you have to be careful. Some things should be avoided as much as possible before you find a way to deal with them. The human heart is unpredictable. Even if everyone has a common enemy, it does not mean that everyone is of one mind. Even when it comes to the catacombs, there are different ways to deal with the enemy. Some advocate attacking forcefully and pacifying a few catacombs. Some advocate delaying time so that the next generation can continue to grow and be more stable. There are also people who advocate communicating and negotiating for peace. In short, there are people who support all kinds of policies. You should know what I mean when I say this. A middle stage rank 3 martial artist with average combat techniques killed a peak rank 3 martial artist. You have to understand how big the gap between middle stage and peak rank 3 is. Even if a peak rank 3 killed a rank for martial artist, it might not be as shocking as this. Middle stage and peak rank 3 are 2 different concepts. Do you understand? The next time the rank 3 ranking list is updated, you may enter the list as a middle stage rank 3. This is not a good thing. The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. Therefore, there are some problems that you need to solve as soon as possible. Your instructor may fight for some time for you, but in the name of justice, your instructor can't always help you fight, unless you are her son or become her son-in-law. Unfortunately, your instructor's daughter has passed away. Of course, you can also consider marrying your instructor. Fong Ping was dumbfounded. F***CK. What F***CK? How dare you say something like that? Am I crazy? Or do I want to die now? Snake King is still alive. Also, how old is Lu Fengru? She's more than 50. Is old Wang jealous of my excellence and trying to send me to my death? How dare he say such an evil suggestion? Wang Jinyang sipped his coffee slowly and said lightly, "Of course, it's just a thought. Don't look at me like that. Who knows, you might succeed." He, well, Brother Wang, you can try. I'm not in danger. Why should I make things difficult for myself? Wang Jinyang said matter-of-factly. The corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched uncontrollably. So you can say such irresponsible things? Wang Jinyang did not dwell on this topic. He said, actually, it's not that big of a deal. You won't have to die. We'll just cut some flesh, cut some bones, draw some blood, and even extract some brain matter. Maybe the government will put in a lot of effort to nurture a genius like you. What's there to be afraid of? Sarcasm. It was easy for him to say that, and he was purposely provoking him. Fong Ping's face paled. He gritted his teeth and said, my bone marrow is complete. That's the truth. Just like you, Brother Wang. When I want to be cut, I'll look for you first. Wang Jinyang said nonchalantly, actually, I've had my bone marrow extracted before, but I realized that it's not as good as a grandmaster's. There's not much point in researching it, so I gave up in the end. Maybe the quality of your bone marrow is better. Maybe it'll be useful for reference? Fong Ping was completely speechless. What was old Wang doing? Chapter 213. Wang Jinyang joked for a while before smiling. You don't have to worry too much. There are too many unsolved mysteries in this world. Even the catacombs had not been thoroughly studied. Where would they find the time to study you? Of course, you're right under my nose. If there's a chance, I'll study it. Why don't you tell me how your qi and blood recovered so quickly? Fong Ping said weakly, jade bones are naturally formed. Bone marrow like mercury, and mentality is comparable to a grandmaster. Really? Fong Ping thought for a moment. Suddenly, he stared at Wang Jinyang with rapt attention. After a while, Fong Ping's face flushed red. One of old Wang's hairs seemed to move slightly. This almost invisible movement caused Wang Jinyang's expression to change. Mental energy. Wang Jinyang suddenly sat up straight, and his expression changed. Are you kidding me? He really thought that Fong Ping was teasing him, but he did not plan to ask in detail. He did not expect Fong Ping to actually master the use of mentality. No, Fong Ping did not know how to use it at all. He was only concentrating his full strength and stirring up his mentality. Fong Ping panted heavily. Do you believe me now? How is this possible? It's not impossible. After all, there are all kinds of people, but Lao Wang seemed to be a little incoherent. After a while, he exhaled and said, now it's really interesting. I'll believe half of what you said and keep the other half to myself. But in your case, you should be able to deal with it. For a rank 3 martial artist to be able to sense his mentality and even stir it weakly, this was too surprising. If Fong Ping's bone marrow was as hard as mercury, then if Wang Jinyang was a potential grandmaster, then Fong Ping would be more accurate than him. Fong Ping panted. Actually, I can sense weak energy particles in the energy room. Therefore, I feel that this is really not a big deal. If a grandmaster is really interested, it doesn't matter if they look for me. I'm afraid that if I tell them, they won't believe me. If they force me to tell them why my mental strength is so strong, then I won't be able to do anything. I'm no match for a grandmaster. Wang Jinyang scoffed and said, it's enough to give them a reason. What else do they want? How did the grandmasters become grandmasters? What kind of fortuitous encounters they had? Did they have to share them all? Don't think that the world is too dark. You're not rootless duckweed. In MCMEU, if you're forced by a grandmaster to reveal your final secret, don't say that you don't have a secret. So what if you do? Could it be that someone is going to force me to ask why my bone marrow is jade-like? How should I know? If they really forced you to do this, then MCMU might as well go bankrupt. The 99 martial arts universities would not tolerate this kind of situation. Dozens of grandmasters were now standing on the students' side. Who would dare to risk universal condemnation and do such a thing? Of course, I'm talking about the surface of the earth. In the catacombs, if you're targeted, captured, interrogated, and then silenced, you can't blame anyone else. Therefore, everything depended on strength. If you were a grandmaster yourself, Wang Jinyang smiled faintly and said, then even if you slash 10,000 times at once and destroy the catacombs with one slash, no one will say a word. I won't ask about the rest. Just think of a way to solve this problem and give everyone a reason. As for the rest, don't worry. Fong Ping nodded slightly, but this lie was not easy to cover. At the very least, his own bone marrow had to be honed to be able to do so. Fong Ping did not continue with the question. Instead, he asked curiously, Brother Wong, everyone says that you're a potential Grandmaster. Are you going to break through to Grandmaster soon? Grandmaster? Wang Jinyang looked at him strangely. Then he grinned and said, if you sponsor me 3 to 5 billion now, I think there's still hope for me. Cough, cough. Brother Wang, let's have a drink. Fong Ping raised his glass. Are you kidding me? I still want you to sponsor me a few billion, but you're doing the opposite, reaching out your hand to me. Aren't you embarrassed? Wang Jinyang laughed too. He raised his glass and took a sip. After some thought, he said, your current strength is still lacking a little. At the very least, you have to cultivate your combat techniques to perfection. When you reach upper stage rank 3, your combat techniques can be cultivated to the level of ultimate moves. Even the lowest ultimate move can only achieve a vitality outburst of 300 calories. That's equivalent to a vitality outburst of 7 to 800 cal now. It's almost impossible for those below upper stage rank 3 to achieve. When that time comes, your strength will be considerable. Even in the rank 3 ranking list, you'll be at the top. When that time comes, you'll also have the strength to participate in some high-profit activities. If you're free, I can bring you along. Wang Jinyang smiled meaningfully. You'll be in charge of outbursts and Slash's ultimate moves a few hundred times. I'll be in charge of the aftermath. Maybe you can ask Qin Fengqing to be in charge of bringing the others and running away. He's quite good at running away. If you really reach that stage, it won't be difficult for the 3 of us to kill a rank 5. When that time comes, the profits will be considerable. Fong Ping glanced at him. After a while, he smiled and said, we'll see when the time comes. I'm still far from upper stage rank 3 now. Cultivating combat techniques isn't something that can be done overnight. That's true, Wang Jinyang said with some emotion. When I saw you a year ago, I didn't expect you to reach this stage so quickly. It had only been a year. From April last year until now, it had been a little over a year. Back then, he was peak rank 2. As for Fong Ping, his vitality was just a little higher than a normal person's. Now, he could kill a peak rank 3 martial artist. When I arrived at a martial arts university, I found out how strong Brother Wang is after entering rank 4. I didn't expect Brother Wang to improve so quickly. It has something to do with bone marrow lesions. How should I put it? We all have our own opportunities. Right now, Wang Jinyang's attitude toward Fong Ping had also gradually changed. It was a normal change. Dragons do not mingle with snakes. If Fong Ping had just entered rank 1 now, he would be a genius and a prodigy in the eyes of normal people. In Wang Jinyang's eyes, though, he was just average. Rank 1 martial artists in martial arts universities were as numerous as the hairs on a cow. Right now, Fong Ping could kill a peak rank 3 martial artist. This was completely different. In addition, Fong Ping's mentality was not weak. He could also sense that if this kid's bone marrow was really jade-like, then he would advance very quickly in the later stages. A person like this was worthy of his attention. As the 2 of them chatted, the phone Fong Ping had just bought rang. He glanced at the number. It was a little unfamiliar, but he still picked up. As soon as the call went through, Qin Fengqing's loud voice came from the other side. Fong Ping? It's me, Senior Qin? Yes, in Nanjiang? Yes. It just so happens that the vitality test results from yesterday's martial sciences exam are out. Nanjiang actually has 3 martial artist candidates. Go ask about it later and recruit them. Don't waste them for NMAU. Fong Ping looked at Wang Jinyang strangely. Would Qin Fengqing be beaten to death? Also, why did this guy think of asking him to recruit people? Senior Qin, it's not appropriate for me to go. What's not appropriate about it? You're famous in the championship, and you're a Nanjiang local. You're the most suitable. Besides, aren't you close with that one guy? If I find someone else, what if that one guy attacks me? Fong Ping, stop nagging. I'm trying to recruit people for us. Understand? I'm about to reach rank 4. Once I'm there, I'll be the president. When that happens, you'll be the vice president. We'll call the shots in MCMEU. Recruiting new students now is actually also your team. I'm going to be a senior soon. Once I graduate, the president will be yours. Fong Ping laughed. It was not easy for Qin Fengqing to think so far ahead. Fong Ping was about to speak when Wang Jinyang said quietly, I'm preparing to challenge the martial arts society presidents of each university. I hope you can become the president as soon as possible. Who? Qin Fengqing was stunned. Then, a sound came from the other side of the phone. Soon, Qin Fengqing snorted. Wang guy, have some manners. Is it appropriate to eavesdrop on others? You're loud. There's no need to eavesdrop. Do you think I'm afraid of you now that I've reached rank 4? I'll wait for you. Qin Fengqing did not back down. He snorted and said, Fong Ping, remember. Recruit that Nanjiang martial artist to MCMAU. Enemy wants to compete with us? What a joke. Your opponent is someone from CCMAU. Don't take NMU seriously. I'm hanging up. Qin Fengqing hung up the phone without hesitation. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said helplessly, Brother Wang, look, Wang Jinyang said indifferently, whatever. Whether they stay in Nanjiang or go to MCMEU, it's their choice. These new martial artists are actually of limited use. It's different from last year. Last year, because of the championship, normal martial arts universities had already thought about it and made preparations in advance. That was why they spent a lot of money to recruit martial artist candidates. In this year's championship, the participants are not new. Although it's not confirmed yet, it's most likely the Martial Arts Society will send someone. If that's the case, 1 or 2 new martial artist students will be of limited use unless they're heaven-defying. That's true. Actually, some aspiring martial artists are more malleable after entering the university. I used to think that martial artists in the martial sciences exam were very powerful. Now that I think about it, unless they're twice honed, they might be surpassed by some twice-honed aspiring martial artists in the later stages. Wang Jinyang chuckled. That's how it is. Of course, twice-honing isn't easy either. We still have to fight for it. How about this? Let's go together tomorrow and talk to someone. It doesn't matter where we go. MCMU's conditions are better than NMAU's. If we really go to MCMEU, we might be able to nurture a few powerhouses for Nanjiang in the future. Martial artists had a stronger sense of territory. Nanjiang's martial artists would naturally prioritize Nanjiang. For martial artists like Fong Ping who were away, if Nanjiang and Magic City met with trouble at the same time, the possibility of returning to Nanjiang was higher. Seeing that it was getting late, the two of them stopped chatting. They found a random hotel to stay in. The next day, Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang arranged to meet at the entrance of an MAU. This time, Fong Ping finally found out that Wang Jinyang had a car too. The physical assessment results just came out yesterday. The 3 martial artists are all in River City now. It's a good time to talk to them all at once. After inviting Fong Ping into the car, Wang Jinyang smiled. Have you prepared for the matter with Zhang Yu? We'll talk about it after we return from the catacombs. If I'm not upper stage rank 3, I'll be beaten up for nothing. When the time comes, I'll hide first. When I'm upper stage rank 3 and have some achievements in combat techniques, I might be able to become the president. Qin Fengqing is also eyeing the president. Maybe he hasn't achieved rank 4 yet. The two of you will have a fight. We'll see how it goes. But if I really achieve upper stage rank 3, the first person I'll look for will probably be CLA. Whatever, I have plenty of opponents in MCMAU. Unlike you, Brother Wang, whose words carry enormous weight in NMAU. Wang Jinyang smiled without saying a word. 20 minutes later, the car stopped in front of a hotel. Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang stepped inside. Soon, the two of them arrived at a small guest room on the 3rd floor. At this moment, there were not only 3 students in the small guest room, but also their parents. Seeing Wang Jinyang, a few middle-aged men and women quickly stood up and said politely, President Wang, I didn't expect you to come in person. What a pleasant surprise. Wang Jinyang smiled and said politely. He looked at Fong Ping and said, Fong Ping from MCMAU, representing MCMAU. Fong Ping smiled at them. These families that could raise children of martial artists were not ordinary. At least, among the middle-aged men and women in front of him, the strongest had achieved rank 4, and the weakest had the strength of rank 3. They might not even be the strongest in their families. In Nanjiang, this kind of strength was not weak. I recognize you. MCMU's prodigy. You're also from Nanjiang. Amazing. The parents were enthusiastic, but the students were full of arrogance and did not speak. Fong Ping did not mind. They were a group of students who were already martial artists before entering martial arts university. Moreover, they lived in a place like Nanjiang. It was normal for them to be a little arrogant. There were not many martial artists in Nanjiang who took the Gaokao every year. These people were all Nanjiang's prodigies. After a few polite words, Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang sat down. Fong Ping glanced at the 3 people in front of him, 2 men and 1 woman. He observed their vitality. They were all once-honed martial artists, but they should have broken through with vitality higher than 150 calories. This was not too bad. Wang Jinyang did not stand on ceremony. He said directly, Nanjiang Martial Arts University has been undergoing reforms these few years. Everyone here is from Nanjiang, so I'm sure you all know about it. Nanjiang Martial Arts University welcomes everyone to join. If martial artist students join NMAU, NMU promises to provide all the pills you need to break through to rank 2 for free. The 3 of them wanted to wait for him to continue, but Wang Jinyang picked up his teacup and said nothing. Back then, he had promised to give Fong Ping resources for the 3 lower ranks, and Fong Ping was not a martial artist yet. However, Fong Ping was already twice honed at that time. Moreover, Fong Ping was an acquaintance of his. As the president of the Martial Arts Society, he was biased, which was why he had offered such conditions. Seeing that Wang Jinyang did not respond, the few of them were slightly disappointed. They looked at Fong Ping. Fong Ping smiled and said, if you join MCMAU, the benefits of MCMU won't be reflected in the present. It's a long-term process. Everyone here is a martial artist. I think you all have some understanding. The benefits you get from MCMAU are not something Nanjiang can compare to. Of course, the specific choice still depends on everyone's consideration. Whether it's NMAU or MCMAU, they are both good choices. Fong Ping said a lot, but there were no tangible benefits. At this, the few of them were even more disappointed. One of the boys could not help but say, is this how MCMAU and NMU treat martial artists? Fong Ping could not help but laugh. He said lightly, in MCMAU, there are no less than 50 new martial artists in every batch. If you don't have a skill, it's hard to have a chance to show it in MCMAU. Everyone's elders are also martial artists. As martial artists, I think you all have some understanding of MCMAU. As one of the big 2, MCMAU has many instructors and powerhouses. You can read combat techniques at will. The pills are cheap. There are also all kinds of facilities and financial allocations. Choosing MCMAU is not for those little benefits. It's for the long term. Among the 3 of them, the girl suddenly raised her head and said, Senior Fong, from what you're saying, there are many powerhouses among MCMAU students? Of course. MCMAU has rank 5 students. Everyone should know what I mean, right? Rank 5. The few of them's expressions changed instantly. Fong Ping continued, there are also many rank 6 instructors, including peak rank 6 instructors and 4 Grandmaster powerhouses. Actually, in my opinion, there's no need for everyone to hesitate. Of course, Nanjiang is our hometown. Under President Wang's leadership, NMU is also striving to improve. I think it's the same no matter where we choose. Everyone's expressions changed again. The girl who asked the question earlier suddenly said, Senior Fong, how is your ability in MCMAU? Me? Fong Ping smiled. Among the students, I'm still all right. Still all right. The few of them did not know what to think. Soon, the girl said, then I choose MCMAU. The other 2 were also very tempted. Fong Ping did not understand at first. After a while, he seemed to understand something. These people were using him as a benchmark. If Fong Ping could do well in MCMAU, then so could they. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. These new students were even more arrogant than him. He hoped that once they entered MCMAU, they would not be defeated so quickly. The task of roping in the students was very simple. Soon, both parties had more or less confirmed their intentions. As they walked out of the hotel, Wang Jinyang shook his head lightly. If these people really enter MCMAU, I'm afraid they'll be defeated very quickly. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not even a member of the martial arts society anyway. Fang Ping was just making a trip along the way. As for what the students were thinking, he could not be bothered. This was just a side issue. After the discussion, Fang Ping was about to leave. Before he left, Wang Jinyang suddenly said, "Come back from the catacombs alive?" "Definitely." Chapter 214. Magic City. It was still the Labor Day Golden Week, so there was a lot of traffic at Magic City Station. Fang Ping hailed a cab and went straight to the company. On the way, Fu Chanding called. "Fang Ping, the assessment results are out." "What's the situation?" "You scored 800 points. You're ranked first among all examinees." 800 points? Fang Ping was speechless. I remember that a peak rank 3 was worth 1,000 points. Plus, I killed a few rank 3 martial artists. The peak rank 3 wasn't all yours, but some of the people who participated in the attack. "The bulk is yours," Fu Chanding explained. After all, many people were injured in the siege against the Grand Missionary. Fang Ping did not elaborate further. He asked, "What about the rewards? Does 800 points mean 800 credits?" "I can only say that you're overthinking it. They didn't say the specifics. They'll announce it when we get back to school. Don't be so greedy. I only got 120 points." Fu Chanding was helpless. Someone else on the other end of the line was even more helpless. Yang Xiaoman said loudly, "I only got 95 points. I didn't even get the basic points." This time, everyone had cut corners. The points for killing rank 1 martial artists were pitifully low. There were a limited number of rank 2 martial artists, so it took a few people to get 1 rank 2. At this point, a large number of students were not satisfied with their basic points. Fang Ping smiled and did not dwell on the points. He asked, "Are you guys back?" "No. Nanjiang's Governor Zhang wants to receive us today." "Fang Ping, where are you?" "A Grandmaster coming to receive us is a great honor." The fact that Zhang Dingnan could still find time to receive these students meant that the evil sect issue was coming to an end. Whether the evil sect's 3 high-ranked martial artists were dead or alive, or if they had escaped, Fang Ping could not be bothered to care. He had to worry about things that were more important than he was capable of. Right now, he did not have the qualifications to get involved in Grandmaster's affairs. As for the reception that Fu Chanding mentioned, Fang Ping knew what Zhang Dingnan meant. He smiled. "Yes, today, you've given us face. If Nanjiang is in trouble in the future, you won't be able to reject us, right?" A Grandmaster powerhouse, who was also the local governor, warmly received a group of rank 2 and 3 student martial artists. When Nanjiang was in danger and asked for help, these people would more or less appreciate it. Zhang Dingnan's shrewdness in doing this kind of profitable business was not ordinary. Perhaps Nanjiang also needed a governor like this. Zhang Dingnan was preparing for a rainy day. Now he was roping in various forces. When Nanjiang encountered a great crisis, the martial artists who would come to their aid would count. After chatting with Fu Chanding for a while, Fang Ping hung up. Not long after he hung up, he received another message on his phone. Chen Yunqi's 5 million had been transferred to his account. With the 5 million yuan in his account, the resurrection pills that Fang Ping had swallowed earlier were automatically recognized as his assets. According to the contract price, the resurrection pill was priced at 6 million. Obviously, it was tacitly accepted by the system. The next moment, Fang Ping's wealth increased by 2. 6 million, reaching more than 14. 6 million. He also had 25 million in cash. The gap is still huge. Fang Ping sighed softly. Right now, he needed to reach at least 100 million wealth points before the system had any hope of upgrading. Whether it could even level up was a problem. The gap was too big. In addition, my weapon is damaged, and I'm afraid my boots can't be used anymore. The Feng's widow also needs to be repaired. So this mission is really a big loss. Fang Ping grew more and more gloomy. He arrived at the company with this gloomy mood. Prosperity building. At distance, there were more and more people, and the atmosphere was more tense and lively than before. In April, because of Fang Ping's 20 million transfer, distance began to expand throughout Magic City. Now, although it could not be said to have penetrated every corner of Magic City, at least they could see the shadows of Distance's express delivery workers in the entire city. As soon as Fang Ping arrived, some of the employees who knew him greeted him respectfully. Fang Ping nodded slightly and went straight to Li Qing's office. In the office, Li Qingze was on the phone. When he saw Fang Ping enter, he said a few words hurriedly, hung up, and said, "Mr. Fang, you're here." "Yes. How's the situation now?" Magic City's 6 districts have been set up and are starting to accept business. The results are not bad, and we have a bit of a reputation. But it's still developing. That's not what I'm asking. I mean, is there anyone interested in our company? Li Qingze heard this and nodded. "Yes. Last time you said that if there's anyone interested, we can talk. That's why we've always been welcoming to those companies that want to receive financing. But there aren't many institutions and enterprises that are willing to invest. Some people are asking for an exorbitant price, asking for 30% of our shares for 10 million. Haven't you met anyone that's more reliable?" Li Qingze thought for a while and said, "Currently, there are a few companies that are really interested. Have you heard of this website called Popular Reviews, Mr. Fang?" "Yes. They're very interested in our F&B platform, but the other party proposed to acquire it," Li Qingze continued. "After I explicitly rejected it, the other party proposed a partnership. What they mean is that our F&B platform will merge with them and become their sub-website, a secondary website entrance. The other party valued us at 50 million, and they hope to distribute it with Popular shares. In other words, if we integrate with Popular, you can hold their shares." Fang Ping shook his head. "I won't consider this suggestion. What use do I have for those shares? I know their boss. He's too artistic. It's more like Popular merging with us. Other than them, there are a few other internet companies that have also expressed interest. Do you want to discuss further? What about venture capital institutions?" Li Qingze frowned slightly. Recently, venture capital institutions, including those around the world, have been much more restrained. The intensity of their investments has been reduced. I don't know why, but they're much more cautious than before. Fang Ping frowned. He guessed that it might be caused by the deterioration of the catacombs. These institutions were all started by martial artists. With the deterioration of the catacomb situation, these institutions were probably in a wait-and-see phase. The catacombs had not affected the normal operation of the world's economy yet. After all, the mainstream business still served ordinary people. However, if the situation worsened again, it would affect the real world. At this time, it was only right for the major institutions to rein in. Investing in the future also depended on the future situation. If the situation was not clear, these institutions would not dare to recklessly invest in enterprises with long returns. How troublesome! Fang Ping cursed. This way, the situation on his side was much worse. After all, F&B and express delivery were not the kind of enterprises that could get quick returns. Not a single one is interested. There are, but their prices are average. What's the highest? The highest is currently valued at 55 million. There's no way to go higher. I've invested almost 40 million. Fang Ping cursed in a low voice. He tapped the table lightly, thought for a while, and said, then continue to expand. Also, distance needs to raise its reputation. The situation hasn't deteriorated to this point yet. Li Qingze did not quite understand what he meant. Fang Ping, on the other hand, felt that it was still a peaceful period. In the short term, the deterioration of the catacombs would not be too obvious. The Grandmasters were still busy with their own things. This meant that the situation was still under control. When the day came when the Grandmasters no longer cared about business or politics and all gathered in the catacombs, that would be the real deterioration. We can continue to negotiate with whichever company values us at more than 100 million. If it's less than 100 million, ignore it, Fong Ping said and added. Also, now that the domestic 3G has been launched, some 3G phones have started going online. Invest more in the mobile side. Understood. How are you? What's your vitality now? 145 calories. I should be able to reach the threshold of a martial artist soon. Strive to become a martial artist as soon as possible. It's early May now. I hope to complete the first round of financing in June. It's nothing more than hype. Put more effort in this area and give enough gimmicks. Things like the first FNB O2O Enterprise, the first online FNB platform that accepts martial artist meals, the first, Fong Ping wanted to say, the first takeout food delivery company to and from the catacombs. Believe it or not, I will send fast food to martial artists training in the catacombs in the future. Martial artists are so pitiful. In the catacombs, it's hard to even eat. Most of the time, they're popping pills. So what if the catacombs get worse? It'll get even better. Fong Ping only had to think about it. When Fong Ping thought about martial artists in the catacombs fighting to the death with catacombs creatures, a delivery boy suddenly appeared and said loudly, "Pause. Your takeout is here. Call again after you've eaten SK. This scene was beautiful just thinking about it. Li Qingze obviously did not understand why Fong Ping was laughing. He was a little confused. Fong Ping ignored him and gave him a few more reminders. Finally, he reminded him again to complete the first round of financing as soon as possible before June. McMao. MCMU seemed to be much quieter now. In reality, this was just Fong Ping's illusion. MCMU had always been like this. It was just that most of the people he was familiar with were not in school now, so it seemed even quieter. Walking to the dormitory, Fong Ping saw that the doors of the nearby rooms were tightly shut. Lonely, lonely, Fong Ping murmured. Martial artists had to endure loneliness. He did not know who had told him this before. He had told Fu Chanding that martial artists should not be too close to each other. He had said it in a straightforward manner. When he was really waiting for someone, Fong Ping felt that it was too quiet. It was only after Fong Yuan's call that the feeling of loneliness dissipated a lot. Fong Ping, where have you been these few days? Why can't I get through to you on the phone? My phone is broken. I got a new one. All right. Mom asked me to ask you if you're coming home next month. Next month? Yeah. Have you forgotten? What? I'm going to take my senior high school entrance examination. Fong Yuan said coquettishly. You didn't even say that you're coming home to take the exam. You're not responsible at all. Fong Ping burst out laughing. Only then did he remember this. He said with a smile, "What do you mean Mom asked you to ask me? Just ask yourself. When is your senior high school entrance examination?" Middle of June, 17th and 18th. You're really something, calling more than a month in advance. Fong Ping said, amused. It depends. I might go back. This depended on the schedule of the catacombs. If he went to the catacombs after that, he could go back. Before that, Fong Ping might have to be absent. Fong Yuan was slightly disappointed when she heard Fong Ping's uncertain answer. Fong Ping did not say that he would not come back, though, so she did not dwell on it. Fong Ping, my vitality has reached 130 calories. Amazing, right? Fong Yuan said proudly again. The physical assessment for this year's martial sciences examination had just ended, and the vitality threshold was now announced. Compared to last year, the number of applicants had increased greatly. In the past, it was considered good if there were 1 million applicants in the country. This year, the number was as high as 3 million. Every martial arts university would enroll more students this year. Similarly, the baseline had been raised by a lot. This year, the physical assessment threshold alone was as high as 115 calories. If one really wanted to get into a martial arts university, they would probably need to have a vitality of 120 calories. That was a few cal higher than last year. Fong Ping was only in grade 9, but his vitality was as high as 130 calories. The girl had been feeling smug for a few days. She took the opportunity to show off to Fong Ping. 130 calories? Fong Ping was a little dazed. After a while, he said, I saw a few martial arts candidates just now. I didn't even think much of them. And you're showing off your 130 calories vitality to me? Round face. Aren't you thinking too much? Humph. Stop snorting. Your brother is already rank 3 now. Maybe he'll be a grandmaster soon. Work harder. Don't embarrass me. Girl, this world is more dangerous than you think. At the end of this year, or next year, Nanjiang might not be safe. Fong Ping mentioned it. After some thought, he said, forget it. Let's not talk about this. We'll talk about it when the time comes. If the entrance to the catacombs appeared in Nanjiang, it would not be strange for it to appear in Sun City. At that time, I'll have to find an excuse to bring my parents and sister to Magic City. Fong Ping pondered for a moment. Magic City and Capital City were probably the safest places. There were many grandmasters in both places. If he mentioned it now, his parents would definitely not be willing. The older generation would not be used to leaving their homes and living in other places. Maybe I should buy a house in Magic City. Even if the catacombs crisis comes, Magic City's industries won't depreciate. On the contrary, when that time comes, as MCMEU's headquarters and Sino Nation's economic center, Magic City will be the first choice for people from other places to escape. When that time comes, Magic City's industries will probably keep rising. They might even implement an entry system. As Fong Ping thought about this, he realized that there were still many things he needed to spend money on. He felt a splitting headache. There were many things he needed to spend money on. He wanted to save up his wealth to upgrade the system, and he wanted to increase his combat strength. There was not enough to spend anywhere. I really want to steal a grandmaster. Maybe if I steal Lu Fengru, I'll be rich. Fong Ping's imagination ran wild. He reminded his sister again, don't be proud. I'll try to go back for the senior high school entrance examination. I'm hanging up now. Okay. Fong Yuan was still thinking about her brother's words. She was a little distracted. Danger? What danger? Should they develop more members and increase the number of Yuan Ping Club members? There was strength in numbers after all. Fong Ping naturally did not know what Fong Yuan was thinking. After hanging up, Fong Ping thought about it and went straight to the logistics department. The platform had been operating for so long. The school and students had enjoyed the convenience. It was time for him to reap the rewards. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.